Alright, you and I are about to hear an insane urban legend, the Mask Count. An ancient entity that has existed in the shadows for a really, really long time. It constantly hunts for its next successor. Anyone who actually inherits this cursed mask, they unlock absolute, superhuman power that goes way beyond normal human limits. But if you are too weak to handle it, the mask swallows you whole. Game over. So these totally brilliant teenagers sneak into the city museum at midnight to uncover the truth behind the myth. Inside, there is a massive exhibition showing off countless creepy masks. Mary points at a random mask, asking Hunter if this is the one. Hunter quickly shuts that down. Nope, that is just an old relic from the ancient Mayan civilization. She points at another one. What about this? He shakes his head again. That was just a prop used in ancient Roman theaters. Mary tries again. Is it this one? Still wrong. That is a traditional Japanese no-theater mask. She marvels at the insane details, then points to yet another weird option. Hunter tries to answer, but looking closely at it, he completely freezes. After a tense second, he straight up lies. Sorry, no idea. First time seeing it. But right at that moment, a grotesque mask appears floating right behind Mary. Hunter panics and instantly yanks her arm back on pure instinct. Both of them crash hard into the floor. Hunter freaks out. What is that thing? The creepy figure whispers, tonight. It seems nobody here has the power to wear this. Meanwhile, Hunter's two absolute worst bullies are standing right there, happily filming everything with a camera. They just want easy views for their stupid YouTube channel. But a second later, the entity dashes at them. This mask suits you perfectly, kid. The entity aggressively slams a mask onto the bully's face. A blood-curdling scream echoes out as huge flames erupt everywhere. The Count smiles with deep satisfaction. Oh my goodness. Reduced to absolute ashes. Next up, this one. The monster grabs another mask and shoves it straight onto the red hat bully. This is for you. The guy completely panics. What? The Count watches happily as this kid instantly crumbles into dust. Then he slowly approaches Hunter and Mary. So it seems, those fools were just pathetic sacrifices. You are the only true, worthy candidate. The Count smirks wickedly. I am so unbelievably happy. I have waited for tonight for so long. Finally, we meet. His creepy, glowing hand slowly reaches out to touch Hunter right on the face. Thousands of years. Millions of years. I have been searching endlessly for the perfect successor to inherit this mask for so long. But plot twist, he actually wants Mary. Hey there. It has been quite a while, right? She completely freezes in terror. Me? Hunter is visibly shaking too. The Count issues a command. Awaken right now. Instantly. A blinding blue aura totally engulfs her entire body in bright light. That power feels like it could literally blow up the room. Mary faints. He catches her, flashing a highly satisfied grin. All right, let's go. Then he glances down at Hunter. None of these masks will ever suit you, boy. Hunter desperately tries to stop the Count. Wait, where are you taking her? The guy stays silent, then casually blasts Hunter away with raw force. He rolls across the hard floor but violently forces himself back up. Wait. Stop. Leave Mary alone. He looks up at the empty space. Mary is totally gone. Looking at the masks scattered everywhere, he gets an idea. A mask. He frantically grabs one and equips it. Gotta hurry. Hunter desperately tries every single one. Stick with me here. This is important. He suddenly remembers his research. Whoever wears the real mask gets an unbelievable, godlike level of power. Power way beyond humanity. Despite bleeding heavily, he keeps trying them on. But remember the warning? Anyone deemed unworthy will be swallowed whole. Swallowed and killed. Hunter trembles in absolute fear. Whatever. I do not care if this mask ends my life. He slowly crawls toward the very last mask, draining every single ounce of his remaining strength to put it on. Suddenly, a mysterious, glowing light bursts into the dark room. The mask's true power activates. I just want to save her. Against all odds, Hunter actually wins this deadly gamble. The ancient mask has been successfully unlocked and fully activated. This legendary ancient relic? Whoever truly inherits its will is granted an absolutely infinite, godlike level of explosive power. Meanwhile, the Count is just chilling. What a massive haul today. He smiles happily. Who would have ever thought I would randomly bump into you back at that dusty place? Today is definitely my lucky day. But suddenly, a red streak flashes by. Hunter caught up. The Count is completely stunned as Hunter shoves him, sending the villain spinning wildly mid-air. That was close. Hunter instantly follows up with another brutal hit right on his body. The Count chuckles. You know what? He grits his teeth. Well, not quite. Before he even finishes his sentence, Hunter ruthlessly charges him again, actually causing the almighty Count to completely panic. "You are way too stubborn." After a brief clash, our hero grabs his cloak and violently throws the wicked Count in a full circle. Hunter suddenly notices Mary slipping from the villain's grip and slowly plummeting toward the ground below. He furiously dives down to save the girl he loves, but she is falling way too fast. Hunter almost misses her, but powered by pure adrenaline and devotion, he pushes himself to the limit. He catches Mary safely. Using the nearby buildings, he manages to brake just in time. He lets out a massive sigh. What just happened? Did my body seriously just get this incredibly strong? The Count smiles wickedly above them. "I will not let you escape that easily." He closes in. "Whatever trick you just pulled, I am vastly better at using these masks than you." He commands a giant screaming skull to attack. Hunter immediately wraps Mary tightly in his arms to shield her. Absolute, unbreakable protection. A massive explosion completely rocks the area. The Count casually dusts his hands off. "All right, time to end this right here. Time to take back what is mine." Hunter recklessly attacks, desperately trying to rip the villain's mask right off, but he dodges it. Hunter looks utterly confused. "Huh?" They both clash high up in the midair. The Count gloats. "You can never take this mask off once it is worn." He laughs out loud. "This is truly incredible." The Count is genuinely curious. "Where did you even get that specific mask? How did you master it so quickly?" Hunter furiously yells back at him. "What the heck are you doing?" The villain jokes around. "Oh, I totally forgot to introduce myself." He throws open his massive cloak, revealing an endless, horrifying collection of hidden masks inside. Let us dive right in. The mysterious mask merchant has been hunting for a worthy successor for ages. The sinister Count finally targets Miriam, planning to take her away. But our guy Haku? He fiercely holds her close. Haku crushes the villain's hand, making him wince in absolute agony. He coldly barks out a warning, "Touch Miriam." And it is entirely over. As the giant clock prepares to strike midnight, Haku brutally slams the Count right into its face. The villain rubs his aching head. The Count assesses him closely. This kid actually knows how to use it? He starts seriously wondering what kind of monster is this guy anyway. The Count finally surrenders to Haku, casually admitting defeat. But honestly, is this really the end of it? He drops a grim warning: countless enemies will endlessly hunt him down just to claim that wild weapon. Scene shift. A rugged police officer speaks into his radio, reporting straight to his boss. The target somehow managed to slip away right before backup arrived. Enter Oliver. This corrupt cop flashes a wicked sneer, confidently promising to catch the suspect, and he totally does not care if the target survives. Suddenly, Oliver spots something off in the distance. Staring up at the glowing blood moon, he arrogantly declares that nobody escapes his elite security forces. His loyal squad immediately cheers in agreement, blindly following their furious captain. They vow to hunt the guy down, no matter what it takes. Haku carries Miriam, sprinting across the city rooftops with insane speed. In his arms, she shifts uncomfortably, barely waking up. Visibly panicked, he sighs with relief seeing her awake. Miriam forces her heavy eyes open, wincing as pure agony twists her face. Why is he here? Haku freaks out, begging her to hold on while he finds a hospital. But she desperately grips his shirt. "Do not do it." Completely confused, he asks why. Fighting through intense pain, she strictly warns him to avoid the hospital and the police. Haku is absolutely clueless. Weakly pushing him away, Miriam thanks him but insists she is fine. Shocking him, she purposefully lets herself fall off the edge, unconsciously telling him to just go home. Even now, she begs him to let her go. Terrified, Haku dives off the roof at maximum speed, grabbing her hand right in the absolute nick of time. Pulling her into a protective embrace, Haku braces for impact as they plummet straight down into a massive pile of garbage. What a brutal landing. Gasping for air, he realizes they survived. He frantically checks on Miriam, but she is out cold again. He thinks back to her intense warning earlier. She desperately wanted to avoid the hospital. But seriously, why? Remembering her strict orders, he firmly decides to respect her wishes. That masked Count is definitively hunting her down, threatening to take her away by force. Looking at her, Haku solemnly wonders, what kind of wild trouble is she actually in? Suddenly, his buzzing phone startles him. He hesitantly checks the screen and freezes in shock. Who could it be? Meanwhile, back at the Christian high school building, the school clinic is eerily quiet. Breaking the normal chatter, a highly awkward Haku expresses his deep gratitude to the guy who helped them. He sincerely thanks him for keeping this whole mess a secret. The guy he is talking to? The elite student council, president of their very own school. Seijiro smiles warmly, saying he already sent an ambulance to the museum. Then, with a strangely cold tone, he reassures Haku that she is not badly hurt. Just let her rest up. Haku breathes a massive sigh of relief. Seijiro hands him a hot cup of water, catching our main character completely off guard. Seijiro gently suggests that Haku must be exhausted too, urging him to drink and take a quick break. Haku sincerely thanks him for the kind gesture. But wait, why call him this late? The vibe around Seijiro turns incredibly sinister as he casually points out they are not exactly best friends. Letting out a deeply mocking laugh, Seijiro calmly explains that he received some concerning reports from the local townspeople. They spotted a student in uniform wandering around outside, but honestly, there is a much bigger issue here. He cheerfully praises Haku for protecting Miriam and carrying her such a massive distance. Hearing this, Haku just smiles brightly, feeling pretty proud. Now, this is where you and I need to pay close attention. Seijiro fake hesitates, confessing he called the police. Haku is absolutely horrified. Miriam explicitly forbade that. Seijiro calmly rationalizes it. With the masked count and other villains on her tail, having police protection is the safest move, right? Sounds logical on the surface. Haku hesitates, knowing it makes sense, but still worries. Seijiro heads outside to wait for the cops, leaving Haku right there in the room with an unconscious Miriam. The clinic falls into dead silence once again. Sitting all alone in the quiet room, Haku starts connecting the dots in his head. He felt so useless earlier when he could not save her. Recalling those insanely dangerous moments, Haku gets chills. It was like a completely different person took over his body. What in the world is this mask? He wonders if it is just some cursed, ultra-dangerous artifact. Taking a deep breath, Haku slowly tucks it back inside his jacket. Staring quietly at the glowing red moon outside, an exhausted Haku feels a glimmer of joy. At least he managed to keep her safe tonight. Suddenly, Oliver's menacing face pops up right outside the clinic window. "Good evening, kid." Bam! The corrupt cop completely shatters the glass, bursting inside. Haku falls backward in pure terror as Oliver wildly introduces himself. He enthusiastically announces the arrival of his elite security force, bragging about traveling all this way just to pick them up. Right behind him, his masked goons stand by, waiting in absolute, creepy silence. Haku nervously greets the massive group. Security forces? His sharp instincts immediately scream at him. Something about this whole setup is incredibly wrong. Oliver violently rips down the medical curtains, casually asking for the principal. Haku snaps out of his shock, screaming at the intruders. What are they doing? The cop arrogantly claims it is just for security. Panic setting in, Haku yells back. Security? Miriam is the victim here, not a criminal. Why are they trying to hide her? Oliver shoots back a villainous smirk. Hide her? Oh, you and I both know that is exactly the plan. All right, you and I are about to see something wild. Haku's face darkened in disbelief. Wait, were they really leaving? He begged them mentally, please wait. The image of Miriam slung over that guy's shoulder burned into his mind. He dashed forward, screaming for them to stop. Oliver shot him a cold, totally disgusted glare. Holding up his official badge, he barked out a harsh warning to back off immediately. Do you even realize who you are messing with right now? I am an actual security officer, he sneered. Just lay one single finger on me and see what happens. You will get arrested for obstructing official justice. He viciously kicked Haku aside. Do I need to repeat myself? Oliver rubbed his neck in sheer annoyance, reminding the kid he was defying the entire nation. Got it, you little brat, Oliver shouted. Haku was trembling, totally panicking now. Why? Why were they taking her away like this? Annoyed, Oliver casually dropped the bomb. Oh, this little girl is a designated criminal. Haku panicked. A criminal? She literally didn't do anything wrong. She was attacked by the masked count. But Oliver just burst into absolute maniacal laughter, like it was the funniest joke ever. Haku shrank back, terrified. Why are you laughing? Oliver scratched his head, clearly annoyed. Man, this guy really hit it well. Haku was totally confused. Hid what? The officer roughly yanked Miriam higher onto his massive shoulder. He looked down with pure contempt. My guy, do you even know anything about this living weapon? Haku collapsed to the ground in shock. Wait, a weapon? What are you even talking about? Oliver scoffed, totally bored now. Whatever, a soft-faced little kid like you really doesn't need to know. He coldly declared that this was a world Haku had no business stepping into anymore. With a cruel smirk, he promised to remember the useless kid's face forever. You will become a criminal too if you ever dare defy us again. He emphasized every single word. Understood? Haku just blinked, watching them carry Miriam away. He slumped down, completely broken. That word criminal just kept echoing endlessly in his stunned ears. Defying the nation. Dragged away. Unforgivable. Arrested. Treason. You will become a wanted criminal. Got it? The brutal threats replayed in his head. Felony, death penalty. Your life is completely over. But then he wondered, was Miriam really just a weapon? A fierce urge to stand up and fight back took over. His power erupted as he made his choice. Fine then, I will do it. He slapped the mask onto his face, completely transforming his entire appearance in seconds. All that previous fear vanished. He sprinted forward, fiercely snatching Miriam right off Oliver's shoulder, throwing absolute caution to the wind. Haku stomped the ground, sliding backward to a halt. But then he jumped. Oliver's voice was right behind him. The guy had already launched a massive counterattack. What the hell are you doing? He swung hard at Haku, but our boy dodged it just in time. Moving like lightning, Haku sidestepped the brutal incoming strike. Highly focused and fully on guard, he slid back to create some distance. But Oliver kept charging forward relentlessly, like an absolute demon. Closing the gap with terrifying speed, the officer unleashed lethal strikes aiming right for the kill. Finally, they both skidded to a stop, locked in a tense standoff. The whole area turned into a dust-filled battlefield. Now watch what happens here. Furious, Oliver yelled, demanding to know why this kid wore a mask. You useless brat. Haku mocked him right back. Who exactly is useless here? His voice sounded completely different now, cold, sharp, and totally unrecognizable. That scared little kid is gone. Got it? Oliver erupted into pure rage, realizing things were going south fast before he could even secure the arrest. Unleashing a crazy wave of dark energy, the officer roared, I am sentencing you to death with a beating you will never forget. Haku told himself he did not need to win this fight, just run. The second the guy put his mask on, Haku dashed away at top speed to escape. Shock hit him when he realized Oliver was right on his tail. What? The officer violently grabbed his collar, gleefully swinging him high up into the air. He slammed him down, sending a massive shockwave straight through the ground. Haku swallowed the brutal pain, curling his body to protect Miriam from the heavy impact. But Oliver wasn't done yet. A god-tier energy blast crashed down toward them. Moving purely on instinct, Haku narrowly leaped out of the lethal strike zone. Barely surviving that, panic set in. Too fast. There was absolutely no way a normal human could pull off a move like that. Oliver smirked. That mask of yours is totally useless. Anxious, Haku tried to analyze the situation. The officer was using a mask too, but that didn't matter right now. He hesitated, desperately wondering how to escape this mess. But that split-second distraction was all Oliver needed to sneak up right next to him completely unnoticed. She was totally unconscious, leaving him no other option but to keep running. Then it hit Haku. He had literally never been in a real fight before. Oliver's giant fist swung toward him, snapping him back to reality. What should he do? The massive enemy gathered terrifying dark energy into his heavy palm, preparing for one final, decisive blow. Panic surged through him. The attack was going to hit Miriam. Haku desperately lifted her high, taking the hit himself. The direct strike nearly punched a hole straight through his stomach. He screamed, coughing up blood from the intense agony while Oliver just sneered. Oh, what a true gentleman. Stop trying to show off in front of your little friend, the officer casually mocked him. After all, you are going to be saying your final goodbyes very soon anyway. Haku froze in absolute shock. Goodbye? No way, he yelled in panic. The officer looked confused as an insane energy suddenly exploded from Haku. If I cannot run away. Suddenly, a creepy second eye snapped open right on his mask. Then I guess I will just fight. An incredibly demonic, terrifying power completely surrounded Haku's body. Oliver's eyes widened in pure, utter horror. What the hell is that? Gently placing Miriam down safely on the ground, Haku proudly stood up to face his enemy. His entire physical presence had completely mutated. You are only doing all this, Haku boldly shouted at him, just to make your own pathetic self feel better. Outside, a blood moon illuminated the gloomy night. You and I know everyone hides a dark side. Meanwhile, Seijuro calmly took a stroll down the hall. All right, you and I are about to see absolute madness. He grips another mask tightly. Outside, masks drop, and Haku suddenly screams into the chaotic battlefield. Power explodes from him. He firmly declares that doing all this messed up stuff is just a sick way to make yourself feel better. Oliver hesitates, completely furious. What the hell are you doing? You are just a mere clone. He completely loses his mind in pure rage. Why is a brat like you wearing that mask? Do not mess with me. He unleashes that same massive, earth-shattering punch from before. Oliver rushes in with a terrifying burst of overwhelming power, screaming, "What the hell are you?" Haku stays completely calm. He raises a hand to block and glares fiercely. "You might hit her," he warns, staring down that gigantic incoming punch. The attack collides with Haku's small hand dead even. He gently shifts his wrist. He fully redirects the strike right back at Oliver. The guy staggers, totally stunned. "What?" Haku just glares coldly. "I get it now. When this mask opens its eyes, the wearer gets a massive physical boost." Haku recalls the brutal fight with Oliver earlier. His senses are suddenly razor sharp. But right then, Haku notices something dark and weird boiling deep down inside his own body. A wild power fueled by pure anger and the fierce drive to protect her. He charges forward aggressively and grabs Oliver's head. "Your mask works the exact same way, right?" Oliver screams in panic. "What are you doing? Stop!" Haku smashes him until the mask flies off. Haku pins him violently to the dirt. The mask launches high into the air, and Haku brutally shatters it mid-flight with a punch. He coldly delivers an oppressive strike to the broken mask, sending it flying away. Oliver absolutely panics and yells, "What the hell is this? I warned you not to step in." Oliver is glaring like a maniac. "Are you really doing all this over your little girlfriend?" Haku repeats darkly. "My girlfriend?" He remembers Miriam as a little girl, smiling so brightly, completely pure and full of life. She used to playfully tease and protect him, always looking at him with warm sweetness. Haku glances warily and bluntly replies, "No." Then, he leaps high into the air, fully convinced of one thing. This is not a world you can enter. He unleashes a truly devastating kick directly into Oliver's cheek. That strike is so insane it sends Oliver flying away, violently coughing up thick blood. Haku advances. He relentlessly rushes forward, kicking him in the face without a break. He brutally batters the side of Oliver's head before he can even react. Finally, the guy is smashed straight into the ground, causing a massive shockwave. His loyal grunts watch in total panic, yelling, "Lord Oliver!" They completely freak out seeing their boss get absolutely destroyed like that. Oh my god. One panicked lackey immediately orders the squad to arm themselves. Suddenly, that lackey notices something terrifying. "Huh?" Haku is already standing right beside him. Our boy looks up, fully wielding the mask's dark power. The entire squad falls back on the ground in pure terror, cursing loudly. Haku takes slow, heavy steps, then drops to his knees beside Miriam. He gently strokes her cheek. "You are safe now, Miriam." He forces a bright smile despite the blood dripping from his mouth. "Let's go." Drops of his blood fall on her. He panics. "Ah, sorry, I will wipe it right off." Suddenly, Miriam groans. Haku gets incredibly anxious. "Miriam?" She slowly blinks awake and whispers, "Haku." He asks with real concern, "Are you okay?" Miriam completely panics seeing him so battered. She breathes his name in total shock. "Haku. Now, pay close attention here." Blood keeps pouring from his mouth. She jolts up, looks around, and spots Oliver lying totally crushed against a heavily cracked wall. Haku tries to calm her. "Miriam, it is me." She shakes uncontrollably. "Did I cause all this damage?" Haku frantically explains. "What? No, I did this." Meanwhile, the screaming grunts notice her. "The girl is awake!" They all raise their weapons at once. "Kill her." But suddenly, massive ice blocks erupt from nowhere. "Stop!" The confused soldiers freeze. "What?" Haku looks around suspiciously. "Ice?" A calm voice echoes out. "Your orders were to capture them alive, not execute them." Those soldiers are totally stunned. "Director?" Haku is shocked too. "Wait, aren't you the student council president?" Seijiro ignores it and calmly attacks him. "You really should not expose your secret identity while on a mission." He smoothly removes his mask and commands, "Capture them." Seijiro casually accepts the order. "Understood." He takes a step toward Miriam. "I have waited a very long time for this day." She flinches as he speaks with chilling coldness. "Welcome, first-generation child." Meanwhile, down a pitch-black corridor, a lone silhouette slowly walks forward. He stops dead in his tracks and mutters, "Please excuse me." He slowly delivers a report to an empty, shadowy room. Reporting in. A child of the first generation has finally awakened. The light veil covering his face flutters slightly. Suddenly, bizarre, terrifying eyes materialize on the massive leader chairs of the 13 distinct tribes. The leader sitting in the main seat speaks up slowly. He questions quietly, "Does Noise know about this yet?" One hateful rival snaps back. "Those blonde little pests." Just burn them all to the ground if they gather together. Another mocks him right back. Ah, but they are currently on your tribe's territory, and those guys are seriously resilient. The leader closes his eyes with a heavy sigh. So, the first-generation children have finally started showing up. He stares deeply into the empty void. This realization makes the entire room unusually quiet. The trickling sound of water through a bamboo pipe becomes crystal clear. He stands up, his entire body radiating intense power. Let's go. An armored van speeds down a road while someone's voice updates them. Seijiro is already on his way. The leader gives a cold command. Then we pick them up, straight from London. All right, you and I are jumping right in. The thick ice covering the school radiates freezing mist. Haku curses, damn it. He cannot even move. He desperately tries to think of an escape, barely able to breathe. At this rate, he is going to freeze to death. He weakly whispers her name. Miriam? Is Miriam even still alive? It is so incredibly cold. Those lonely, freezing voices keep echoing in his head. Haku suddenly flashes back to his painful childhood. I cannot eat this absolute garbage. His wicked aunt screams right in his face, aggressively demanding to know what he put in the food. She demands to know why it tastes like rotten leftovers. You are just a worthless adopted kid, she yells. Why do you hate our family so much? Haku panics, stammering that he cooked it exactly like he always does. His aunt threatens him he better not dare complain to his parents. Her two spoiled sons just laugh and maliciously mock him. The aunt aggressively grabs Haku, screaming about how they generously took him in from the streets. She reminds him he was an abandoned burden. Haku winces in pain. If you want to eat, she yells, you have to work. They brutally throw Haku into a pitch-black room. His hateful aunt locks the door, declaring that he will not be coming out for a very long time. Her cold, completely ruthless glare is the last thing he sees before the door shuts. Haku is left trembling violently in the terrifying, freezing darkness. Haku desperately begs for forgiveness, crying out for them not to abandon him. From the other side, his aunt sounds completely thrilled. She tells her kids to throw the soup away so they can eat cake instead. The cousins cheerfully mock his endless begging, turning his trauma into a cruel joke. The darkness completely swallows him as he keeps apologizing. Outside, the aunt sweetly tells her sons to go to sleep, and they happily agree. A clock ticks loudly over his endless sobbing apologies. Suddenly, Haku snaps awake in the present. He looks up with teary eyes, trying to figure out the situation. It seems everyone else has finally fallen asleep. With a deeply gloomy expression, he quietly ties his shoes in the dead of night. Haku slowly reaches his trembling hand forward. Using all his remaining strength, he forces the massive heavy door open. A violent, freezing blizzard immediately rushes inside as total darkness completely swallows the quiet little town. Out in the freezing, snowy night, Haku sits all alone right next to an old phone booth. He carefully unfolds a precious drawing of him and his mother. He stares sadly at the simple crayon drawing. Haku remembers that exact same snowy night so perfectly he had cried endlessly as he watched his own mother walk away. Haku looks down with a flushed face, but then suddenly notices something that completely stuns him. Panic sets in. He gasps for air, desperately searching around. Haku spots a couple walking by, and the woman has beautiful white hair exactly like his mother. He completely rushes over and frantically grabs her long sleeve. He excitedly asks if she is his mother, but he freezes the second she turns around. She glares at him with pure disgust and harshly snaps at him. What? Her terrifying, malicious glare shakes him right to his core. Haku immediately lets go and steps back in total fear. The annoyed couple loudly complains about the random street kid. She whines that he ruined her nice outfit, telling her partner they should just ignore him. Haku is completely crushed. He stammers quietly, trying to say he is sorry. A single tear rolls down his freezing cheek as he whispers how much he misses his real home. Haku cannot stop crying, just apologizing endlessly. He hiccups through his painful sobs, saying sorry over and over. The terrifying, hateful glare of his aunt perfectly matches the cold, disgusted look of that random woman. The trauma completely overwhelms him. Haku slowly loses consciousness from the sheer terror, begging them to stop staring with those cold eyes. Please, do not leave me all alone. Suddenly, a warm scarf gently lands right on him. A voice cheerfully points out that he is going to freeze to death. Haku looks up in total shock. Miriam gently wraps the warm scarf around him for comfort. She softly admits that she cannot actually take him home. But this scarf should help you survive until morning. Haku stares at her, completely amazed. With a gentle smile, she insists on giving it to him for the freezing night. Miriam cheerfully tells him the bright yellow color actually suits him perfectly. But as she turns to leave, Haku desperately calls out for her to wait just 1 second. Haku timidly asks for her name. Miriam just gives him the absolute sweetest, brightest smile. With his eyes completely red and tears falling, he simply stares at her in awe. All right, you and I are back in the present. Haku asks himself why he is stuck in this frozen wasteland. He forces his mind awake. He has to chase them down. The massive ice block finally starts to crack. He repeats his desperate mantra, stay awake. Suddenly, a massive burst of warm energy erupts. What is this amazing heat? Haku violently jolts awake and quickly looks around in absolute shock. Wait, is that actual fire? Standing majestically before him, Chu-En begins to confidently speak to the young boy. He jokes that usually when someone breaks through magical ice, they find a beautiful sleeping princess waiting for them, not some poor, empty-handed kid. But I guess rescuing you works fine too. Glowing brilliantly under the blazing firelight, Chu-En asks the kid if he is finally feeling a little warmer. Haku stares in total confusion. Is he wearing a mask? Before he can finish asking, Haku panics as the nearby fire suddenly erupts into an absolutely massive blaze. The intense heat immediately makes him sweat buckets. Haku screams out in pure terror. Chu-En awkwardly apologizes for the blast. Haku is trembling, genuinely thinking he was dead. Chu-En just laughs out loud, casually apologizing for not controlling his insane power better. Haku cautiously asks for his identity. The mysterious guy finally catches on. Oh, you mean me? Flashing a dangerously wide grin, Chu-En tells him to carefully memorize this incredibly handsome face. He proudly declares his own name to the world, the legendary Chu-En. He winks and playfully teases that the rest of his identity is a total secret. After all, mysterious guys are way more popular with the ladies. Dropping the jokes, Chu-En sincerely apologizes for the sudden scare. Then he leans in, listen up kid. Here is exactly what is happening right now. He asks if Haku knows anything about the mysterious girl with the yellow bandana. Haku instantly flinches at those words, frantically grabbing his own protective mask. Haku swiftly jumps back, desperately creating some safe distance between them. He shouts out in sheer frustration, this is way too sudden. Are you really after her too? Boiling with pure rage, Haku suddenly lunges straight at Chu-En. He screams at the top of his lungs, why is absolutely everyone relentlessly hunting down Miriam? All right, you and I are jumping right back into the madness. Chu-En looks completely confused. What are you even talking about? Are you chasing her too? Oh, I see. Haku does not hesitate. He lunges forward, throwing a heavy punch. But Chu-En, he just catches it with one hand. A casual flick of his wrist easily tosses Haku straight down to the floor. Haku crashes backward onto the ground, groaning in pain. Chu-En just stares down coldly. That is useless. Haku panics, totally stunned. This guy is this strong even without a mask? Absolute madness. Chu-En casually pins him down, sitting right on his stomach. What is wrong? Are you her friend? Haku struggles, glaring back as he snaps that it is none of his business. Chu-En stares at him silently, calculating his next move. Then he casually drops a massive taunt. What? Do you actually like her? Haku instantly turns bright red and screams, what did you say? Chu-En just shrugs, laying out his theory like it is obvious. There are signs of a struggle. Looks like she was kidnapped or something similar. He firmly states the facts. That means we are looking for the exact same thing. Haku just stares back at him, completely confused. Chu-En excitedly throws out an offer. So, wanna be friends? Haku freezes, caught totally off guard. Friends? He frantically shakes his head to clear his spiraling thoughts. No, this is all wrong. He remembers what just happened. He absolutely refuses to be lured in by a few sweet-talking words right now. Seijuro and his totally cold, ruthless eyes flashing as he walked away are still burned into his memory. Besides, he has zero idea who is a friend or an enemy anymore. He strictly refuses. No way, but thanks anyway. And honestly, thank you for stepping in to help me. But if you are chasing her suddenly, loud voices echo from all sides. They are over here, Haku panics. The police? This is bad. Damn it, not right now. Chu-En actually looks thrilled. What is wrong? Are you a wanted criminal too? Haku gasps. Wait, too? Chu-En laughs it off. Oh, those guys are chasing me. How incredibly rude of them. He excitedly pats Haku on the shoulder. Make your choice, young man. We can just search for her together. His boots scrape heavily across the ground, showing off massive confidence. He stares straight at the security officers and loudly declares his stance. We share the exact same enemy. Chu-En grins, waiting for an answer. So, what will you do now? Haku just stares blankly at his radiant confidence. He remembers the pure disgust on everyone's faces. The cruelty from his own family in the past. Even kids his own age absolutely hated him for no reason. The pain of being thrown away and brutally rejected still hurts. Even his friends hid nasty intentions and treated him coldly. But then Haku snaps back to reality. He realizes something huge. Chu-en does not have that look. The security squad screams out their orders at the exact same time. Open fire! Chu-en presses his lips together coldly, staying silent. Haku decisively braces for a direct clash. Chu-en gets the message and beams brightly. All right then, our powerful alliance is officially formed. He looks completely unstoppable. Now you and I need to watch this closely. Let me teach you how to use that mask. The officers roar in unison. Kill them! Open fire! Suddenly, fierce flames erupt. The intense heat surges like a demonic beast. The second the bullets get close, they instantly melt. Every single bullet dissolves straight out of the air in a flash. Molten metal drips into a puddle right at Chu-en's feet. He proudly flexes his insane power. Haku watches in shock. That is hot enough to literally melt bullet casings. Chu-en calls out smoothly. Hey kid, did you seriously think this mask was only meant for boosting your physical stats? Right? Haku stands frozen. Chu-en speaks with a gentle tone that totally clashes with his terrifying display of raw power. I will show you the next step. This guy is named Gabri. The security officers scream in absolute panic. Do not let him do that. Stop him. Molten lava spills straight out of Chu-en's mouth. It makes him look like a total nightmare. Honestly, it is terrifying. He tilts his head back and blows out a scorching fire tornado. The air around him feels strangely familiar now. Using a technique to hear the devil's voice, the flames twist into a brilliant golden ribbon. Time to fully awaken your hidden power right here. A blinding sphere of light burns like a tiny sun just as the soldiers rush in. A spark slashes right across the chaos, slicing one of the officers instantly. Flames erupt into a violent tornado, pulling everyone inside and burning everything to ash. That blazing vortex just keeps rising higher and growing stronger. It touches the clouds like a golden lamp under a blood moon. Haku timidly shields his head, totally mesmerized by this insane view. This is Chu-en, overflowing with legendary swag. But right before this, he was acting cool while teaching him. You need to be braver, kid. From now on, I will teach you how to chase a girl. Haku looks bewildered. Wait, is your power actually being limited right now? He cannot believe what he is hearing. You are only just getting started. The crimson sky dyes the moon blood red above, while a motorcycle speeds past, ripping through the dark night. Chu-en presses his phone to his ear to catch what the other side is saying. Please do it. Haku leans in curiously. Who exactly is he talking to anyway? He stammers, well, it is for a girl. Just a girl. The two keep chatting as they speed down the massive highway together. Maybe his girlfriend actually got taken. We do not have any time to waste, got it? Then he reaches his hand back to show him something important. The sharp teeth in his hand belong to this guy. You are using it, but your transformation is really weak. It is just a mysterious eye mask shaped like a bird face. That guy is named Kabuli. The mystery feels like a curtain of blood blurring everything out. He transforms into a coded weapon. He puts on a serious face. Where did it come from, and how was it made? Every single detail is still a total mystery. He frowns and mutters, Kabuli. Suddenly, Chu-en completely changes his tone. His eyes look dead serious. It is highly mysterious, but you and I only need to know how to use it. This guy syncs perfectly with the user's genetics. He opens his eyes wide in shock. Genetics? Exactly. A human body is built from a massive chain of connected sequences. That is genetics. After analyzing the target's genetic data, it accepts the host if they are a perfect match. So what do you and I take from this? Maybe it actually awakens sealed genetic data. He fires off examples, like creating ice or Lysergio breathing fire, just like him. All right, you and I are jumping right into the madness. Haku possesses some kind of dark power. Chu-en keeps explaining things, telling him that somehow he has already gotten just a little bit stronger. How exactly? Well, he can just skip over the hard parts. Basically, a strange genetic sequence flashes through his mind, forcing our boy to stare intensely at that mysterious mask resting right in his hands. If he wants to grow stronger, he has to follow that connection. Haku's eyes turn dead serious. Follow the connection. Just follow that one single, unbreakable thread. He instantly remembers her back as she walked away into the freezing, snowy night, turning around, looking at him with tear-filled eyes. That memory right there is the connection. Lips pressed tight, Haku hugs the mask close and closes his eyes. Chu-en twists the throttle, speeding up the bike. Haku's girl is currently being targeted. It probably has something to do with this whole disaster. Miriam too. But before Chu-En can finish his thought, several dark cars suddenly close in fast, coming from behind. Through the rearview mirror, Chu-En sees the dangerous situation clearly and clicks his tongue. They are following way too closely. Suddenly, his eyes catch something absolutely wild. There is a guy crouching right on the roof of the trailing car. Now that is serious trouble. A masked man is staring them down. Public security. Haku looks back, completely panicked. Wait a minute, that guy is wearing a mask too. Chu-En denies it. No, that is just a cheap replica. The government has been busy researching them. The guy behind yells a provocation, demanding they stop and fight. Haku grabs Chu-En's shoulder. No, please do not stop here. Keep driving. But the back seat is already empty, leaving Chu-En totally shocked. Turns out, Haku has already jumped right onto the hood of that pursuing car. He needs to catch up to her fast. The first eye on the mask opens. Following the connection, Haku delivers a flawless, heavy kick straight into the enemy. The masked guy throws up an arm to block. One arm defends, while the other launches a vicious counterpunch. But Haku swiftly spins midair, dodging it perfectly. Haku drops way back, hitting the highway hard. Without hesitating for even a second, he charges at the oncoming car. Once again, his feet launch completely off the ground. His airborne silhouette practically merges with the moon above. The second eye on the mask snaps open, drawn by that same mysterious connection. Haku crashes down, punching a hole straight into the car's hood. The impact triggers the airbag, smashing directly into the driver's confused face. Just watch this chaos. The lead car loses control, forcing the vehicles behind it to swerve and violently crash into each other. Boom! The massive collision creates a huge explosion, flames rising high. The masked enemy rolls across the dirt, barely escaping the blast. He rubs his head, cursing that damn kid. Never underestimate me. He looks wildly around the highway, screaming at the top of his lungs. Come out and fight, kid. From behind, Haku attacks like an absolute hurricane. In a flash, he appears right in front of the guy. The enemy only feels a hand grabbing his own mask. The third eye on Haku's mask slowly opens up, following the connection. Haku phases right past him, snatching the enemy's mask and sending the guy tumbling backward. That third eye seems pretty lazy, shutting down to rest the second the job is done. Mission accomplished. Haku runs back alongside Chu-En's moving motorcycle. Well done. You did great back there. Haku easily leaps back onto the rear seat. Chu-En is blown away. Since when did you know how to use that crazy mask? Since last night. Oh, last night, huh? A second later, Chu-En screams in pure panic. Wait, last night? Do not lie to me. The reason it fits you perfectly is, Haku ignores him completely, slowly dropping his head. He just keeps muttering to himself, follow the connection, follow the connection, follow it. Chu-En glances at the unconscious kid behind him, feeling super suspicious. This insane adaptation speed is completely unnatural. Normally, it takes years of brutal training to reach this level. The faces of two young kids suddenly flash through Chu-En's mind, looking a bit naive, this girl and this boy. Realizing something, Chu-En breaks into a very sly, cunning smile. Looks like my luck has finally changed. Resting his head on Chu-En's back, Haku's eyes snap wide open when he hears the guy call out. Hey kid, listen up, I forgot to tell you the truth about your girl. Haku lifts his head instantly, staring right at him. What about her? Chu-En hesitates for a second. You really react fast when it involves her, huh? The motorcycle silently glides past building after building in the dark city. Do you want to know why everyone is targeting her? Haku's eyes drop, full of deep sadness. 3 different masked organizations, and even the public security forces are involved. Every single one of them is hunting her down. Chu-En gives him a very meaningful, sideways glance. Now you and I need to pay close attention. That girl is what we call a first-generation child. Haku's mind goes completely blank hearing this massive reveal. He can only blink at Chu-En in shock. That girl is just a tiny, innocent girl sleeping peacefully. But she is surrounded by a bizarre purple light, a forbidden species. She is a perfect match for the original Gabri entity. Chu-En expertly drives his motorcycle, tearing down the empty road. Haku falls into deep thought. A child of the very first generation? The original Gabri? Chu-En stares straight ahead, constantly dropping more info. Yeah, and I have absolutely no idea where that specific mask is hiding right now. He compares Haku's bird mask to his own demon mask. Honestly, compared to the original, our masks are nothing but cheap knockoffs. Total garbage. A simple black mask, decorated with just a few silver studs. That mask is literally classified as a forbidden species. It is basically like a nuclear or biological weapon. Nobody fully grasps its true power, but every single heavy hitter out there is trying to get their hands on it. That tiny girl is curling up, overwhelmed by the insane power she has to carry, because the girl who can actually wield that thing is a completely insane weapon. After sitting in silence, Haku raises his voice and cuts him off. Please, stop talking about her like that. Chu-en can hardly believe his ears. Haku stares right into his eyes, absolutely unshaken. What do you and I take from this? To him, she is just an incredibly kind-hearted person. All right, you and I are about to see something wild. Chu-en narrows his eyes, flashes a cocky grin, and says, my bad, guys chasing women like you are seriously rare. He immediately smirks, openly mocking the kid for being a skirt chaser. Haku just shouts back in total confusion. Dim headlights barely cut through the dark street corner right now. Chu-en laughs. Do I look disgusted? I am praising you, man. You are a real hero. But the joking stops when they spot the convoy ahead. He drops the teasing instantly. Hey, look straight ahead. Those guys are not waiting around. We finally caught up to where your girl is being held. He smoothly swerves their ride, pulling up right alongside the massive transport truck. Listen closely, okay? Here is the absolute master plan. Chu-en slaps his mask on with total hype. Step 1, we completely wreck their transport. Haku masks up too, listening intensely. Step 2, we rescue your girl and get out alive. Before he even finishes, both of them leap straight out of the moving vehicle. The rest? Pure improvisation. Chu-en ignites his flaming hand. Let us go. Haku readies his pitch-black, transformed hand. Moving in perfect sync, they smash down on the exact same spot on the truck roof, making a massive purple shockwave erupt instantly. Peering through the gaping hole, Haku yells out for Miriam. Suddenly, panic hits him hard. Huh? Inside, a squad of masked goons is aiming assault rifles right at them. 1 second later, a fiery explosion blasts the roof. They leap back as sparks completely fill the night sky. Public security agents pour out of the transport truck. Oliver steps up to the very front, flashing a nasty grin. Well, look who it is, the cannon fodder kid. Suddenly, Oliver's massive arm bulges with insane muscle, completely ripping his uniform sleeve wide apart. Chu-en does not even flinch. He just smiles mockingly. It seems like those cheap knockoff powers are actually working pretty well now. Behind them, another mysterious car speeds directly toward their spot. Ah, quick reflexes. Both fighters sidestep to dodge the incoming threat. But Haku freezes. His eyes lock onto something inside that passing car, completely unable to look away. He spots a silhouette through the glass. It is Seijiro, glaring back at them while the car speeds away like the wind. The vehicle is trying to escape really fast. Haku points it out, immediately yelling to his partner. Chu-en, she has to be inside that other vehicle. Under the glaring blood-red sky, Haku carefully asks, can I go after her? Instantly, Chu-en drops his usual careless attitude. It gets serious. He sternly affirms it. Go! Chu-en proudly stands his ground even as those men aggressively charge right at him. But wait, their absolute strongest fighter is over there. The enemies scream to catch them. Haku naively asks a question that makes him laugh out loud. Can you handle all of these guys alone? You and I are witnessing absolute madness. He yells back, who do you think you are worrying about? Then launches a spectacular flying kick. Sparks explode as he violently kicks away the charging enemies. He tosses his iconic yellow jacket right over to him. Take this jacket. He casually lets Haku grab the jacket to run off. Chu-en just stands there, blinking calmly. It gets cold before dawn, kid. Wear it. Oliver is so focused on Haku, he completely misses Chu-en stepping right beside him. That kid is my target. Hey, pay attention to me. Chu-en delivers a brutal straight kick right to Oliver's face. He slowly lowers his leg. The adults are playing over here, got it? Oliver grits his teeth in pure, seething fury. Let us slaughter each other. Meanwhile, the escaping car glides smoothly down the dark street. Is the first-generation child safely secured? Absolutely. Seijiro sits relaxed, legs crossed, talking on his phone. Father, our family's long-awaited wish is finally becoming reality. Right beside him, an unconscious Miriam sits tightly bound. The voice on the phone commands them. We are heading there now. Failure is absolutely unforgivable. Seijiro nods coldly. Yes, I completely understand. Miriam slowly siened one eye, weakly calling for Uru. Seeing this ruthlessly cold guy beside her brings instant confusion. Where did you even come from? He chuckles softly. Do you really think I would tell you that? Suddenly, he raises his right hand high up. I am from MI7 Security. We are exactly the same age, just as you guessed. His freezing, sharp eyes lock onto her as he slowly pulls on his dark gloves. I am not just some random, overachieving student. The car keeps coldly rolling forward. I went to the exact same school with you for 6 years. I have been waiting patiently for the awakening. He leans his face uncomfortably close, gently lifting her chin up. Do you know what you are? First-generation child? Hearing that specific title makes her eyes tremble wildly in fear. The first-generation child. The first generation. Her mind gets sucked into a traumatic memory. A lifeless body, a massive pool of blood slowly creeping forward. Tiny, pale hands are completely stained red. A little girl bends over the scene, while heavy drops fall steadily from her own traumatized face. You cannot tell if it is blood or tears blending into that horrific puddle. Snapping back to reality, Miriam lowers her head, weeping bitterly. No, that is not the same thing. This is completely different. Eyes full of pure sorrow, she bites her lip and squeezes her eyes shut. A single tear slides down her cheek as she sits there, tightly restrained and defeated. Then, she lets out a hollow, tragic sigh. Perfect. This way, I will not hurt anyone else ever again. Suddenly, a blinding afterimage tears through space and time outside the moving car. Suddenly, the vehicle slams its brakes, throwing Miriam sideways. Sweating, she wonders, what just happened? Seijiro shoots a cautious, deadly glare, just some idiot who does not know his place. He slowly turns back to her, voice absolute ice. Listen to me, little girl. Whatever happens to your friend, it ends here. Boom! Haku rips the truck doors wide open, dust blowing everywhere. Standing there, his furious eyes lock straight onto Miriam. Inside, Seijiro now wears his terrifying mask, dripping with sheer arrogance. Those massive metal chains hanging around him give off a truly chilling vibe. Just stay securely locked in those heavy chains. Masked Seijiro glares right back at Haku. Miriam is completely trapped right next to him. You and I know this is about to get epic. She sees him and cries out, Haku! He clenches his fists, glaring at Seijiro. Miriam yells at him. Her voice is breaking with pity and pure anger. Why did he do this? She literally cannot scream anymore. She just stops. Her eyes drop down, and those heavy tears are about to flood out like an absolute river. Squeezing her eyes shut, Miriam turns away. She stares at the ground, her voice dropping to a whisper. They have absolutely nothing to do with each other. All right, you and I are about to see this get wild. Seijiro just sneers, ripping his mask off with total disgust. Why even bother coming here? Haku just looks down, his mouth hanging open. He really wants Miriam to come back with him. Outsiders just need to go home. Does she seriously want to be taken away? He looks up, his voice totally shaking, fighting back tears. If she keeps acting like this, she is definitely getting captured. Miriam cannot even look Haku in the eyes. She just stands frozen. Seeing this, Haku finally relaxes his tense arms. Fine, then let us go home. But then, he instantly clenches his fists tight. Haku drops into a combat stance, ready to throw down with Seijiro right here and now. His eyes are practically screaming murder. Before Haku can even finish his sentence, Seijiro blasts forward. The raw force of his launch is so insanely strong. Everywhere this guy moves, a glowing blue trail gets left behind before fading out. With lightning speed, he flashes right in front of Haku. Are those his actual parting words? Haku opens his eyes wide in shock as Seijiro loudly mocks him. Absolutely brilliant, right? Boom! Seijiro slams his hand down, and deadly ice spikes erupt from the ground right under Haku. But thankfully, our boy has insane reflexes. He somehow dodges the worst of it, but one of his legs gets completely frozen over. Seijiro jumps up right in front of him, pulling his leg back. Seijiro launches a brutal kick straight at his right side. Haku barely throws his arm up in time to block the hit. But Seijiro immediately summons a massive wave of ice shards. They shoot straight at Haku. Seeing the incoming attack, he instantly fires off a counter technique just to hold back those deadly shards. Kicking off the ground, Haku launches himself high into the air. Down below, Seijiro glares up at him, perfectly calculating the height and distance. He summons those razor-sharp ice spikes once again. They violently erupt straight up toward Haku in the sky. Losing all of his aerial momentum, he starts plummeting right back down. The guy is incredibly lucky today. He somehow manages to dodge the massive ice spikes in midair. But suddenly, Haku goes wide-eyed. Seijiro has already jumped right up in front of him. He raises his leg high for another brutal strike, glaring at Haku with absolute disgust. What a complete waste of his time. But wait, The eye on Haku's mask is half closed. Like it just got a signal, it shoots wide open and erupts with raw power. Thanks to that insane boost, he blocks the incoming attack. The surrounding ice blocks completely shatter as these two legends clash violently in midair. They somehow land safely back on the ground. Seijiro glares at him with pure hatred. Haku is just running away like a completely brainless idiot. The crazy battle pauses for a second. Haku is desperately thinking. If even one of those ice attacks hits him directly, it is totally over. But he definitely cannot run away forever. While Haku is strategizing, Seijiro slowly steps closer to him. Stick with me, this is where the tension peaks. The real problem is how to counterattack. Seeing the enemy rush in, Haku steps back as Seijiro speaks up. Why is he backing away like a coward? For a worthless side character, why is Haku so incredibly obsessed with a girl like her? He lets out a cold laugh. Is Haku just interested in stealing her power for himself? Haku repeats the word in total confusion. Her power? Miriam is still tied up and completely trapped. This incredible power that Seijiro is talking about? It is a living weapon Haku genuinely cares nothing about. Haku stares Seijiro down with an unshakable, determined look. His will is forged in iron. She is the only person who never abandoned him. He refuses to leave her behind. Some blessed, privileged elite like Seijiro could never possibly understand that. Hearing this, the villain grits his teeth in pure rage. Did he really just say blessed? Seijiro's voice turns incredibly toxic. The air around him violently whips up into a massive, freezing tornado of ice. Haku is just a pathetic loser who cannot even use his own mask. Seijiro refuses to let trash like him breathe the same air. The life he lived and his heavy responsibilities are entirely different. Seijiro's hand slowly transforms into pure, freezing ice. It is so terrifyingly cold that thick smoke rolls off it. He is going to slice Haku's legs off so he can never interfere again. He screams the deadly threat as his inner rage explodes, making his entire body glow bright. He threatens to butcher him completely. The thick, freezing smoke fades away as Seijiro violently swipes his icy hand. A massive, deadly sword touches the ground. The scene suddenly shifts over to Oliver. Somehow, this guy just got brutally taken down by Chuen. He is casually sitting right on top of him. Defeated enemies are scattered everywhere in a literal sea of fire. Chuen just casually lights a cigarette. Oliver is desperate for a smoke and begs him for just one single puff. But Chuen does not say a single word. The guy starts running his mouth. That mask. That bright yellow coat. Judging by everything he just witnessed, Chuen must be that absolute bastard named Noise. Chuen just shoots him a cold glance and lets out a dark smirk. Who knows? Oliver stretches his neck up and keeps interrogating him. So he is going after that girl too? Is not this ending a little too boring? Oliver confesses the ugly truth right then. He absolutely hates that kid. But the sheer power of their leader, Larusi, is out of this world. The guy just keeps rambling on. Chuen silently listens, completely ignoring him. He could never win in a fair one-on-one fight. Meanwhile, we jump back to Seijiro. That monster actually has elite royal blood. He is literally the chosen one, enduring horrifying levels of brutal training. The tip of his massive sword is completely drenched in dripping wet, bright red blood. We have to witness the worst right now. Seijiro actually stabbed his sword straight through Haku, seemingly ending him. In the chaos, Miriam breaks free from the room. All right, you and I are diving right into the madness. Seijiro glares down at Haku. You absolute nobody, you just made a massive mistake. Haku's blood is literally pooling everywhere. Seijiro tells him, I have no idea what that girl means to you, and honestly, I do not care at all. The sword in Seijiro's hand slowly fades away into nothing. He makes it completely clear, stating exactly how many long years they have been fighting, waiting for her for the sake of this entire world. Seijiro pulls off his mask, turns his back to walk away, and gives Haku one final warning. So this is definitely not a world you can just walk into. Even as he walks away, every single word he says is dripping with absolute humiliation for our boy. You clearly do not belong here, so you might as well just die in disgrace, you brute. But surprisingly, against all odds, Haku actually manages to stay completely conscious. He opens his eyes, looking around without even standing up yet. What is going on? Is this my own blood? It doesn't hurt, because extreme pain actually goes completely numb. This is the very first time, but now he gets it. He understands. If it does not hurt, then on Chuen's side, he is totally shocked. Extraordinary, right? Yeah, now I see it. Chuen breaks into a slight smile, constantly praising him. Just that kid's raw healing ability alone is genuinely extraordinary, Seijuro only takes a few steps away before Haku slowly stands right back up behind him. His body is literally healing itself, stitching those brutal wounds back together. The eye on his mask lazily opens up, emitting this faint, glowing red light. Tied up nearby, Miriam is absolutely terrified, watching this insane scene unfold right in front of her. Seijuro instantly grabs his sword and dashes forward to attack the heavily injured Haku. Seeing this brutal charge, Miriam panics, her eyes trembling as tears start streaming down her face. Suddenly, she flashes back to the past, remembering her own helpless screams echoing out into absolute nothingness. "Stop it! Please just stop!" Back then, Miriam was still just a little kid, paralyzed by fear, staring at her own small hands, then looking at the person collapsed on the floor. The room felt completely devastating. Just a terrified little girl sitting alone with her torn-up dolls, next to a bed completely crushed by some massive, violent brawl. Suddenly, that figure on the floor slowly moves its hand, starting to wake up. It suddenly stands up, limping forward with awkward, rigid steps. Then it slowly creeps right toward Miriam. Seeing this nightmare approach, she is so scared she can only tremble and cry silently. The figure stares at her and chuckles softly, reaching a hand out toward her. Snapping right back to the present, remembering all that deep trauma, Miriam desperately begs in her heart that nobody else has to suffer pain from the man trapped inside her. Meanwhile, right in front of her, Haku stands ready. He uses his glowing red eyes, unleashing pure power to fight Seijuro. Quick as lightning, Haku instantly teleports right behind Seijuro's back, catching him totally off guard. Startled, Seijuro quickly glances over his shoulder. Even though Haku's body is covered in severe wounds and drenched in his own blood, his power hasn't dropped a single bit. His body is suddenly wrapped in what looks like pure fire, while one damaged eye slowly starts to fade away. But the last two eyes on the mask snap wide open, glaring murderously at Seijuro. Seeing this, Seijuro adjusts his own mask, thinking, "I finally got him." And with that, freezing energy bursts from Seijuro's hands as he literally pulls a fresh sword right out of his palm. He swings the blade, ready to charge at Haku, realizing that Cursed Mask is completely blocking his path. Haku just stares back with ice-cold focus. Then he closes his eyes, thinking, "I cannot possibly win like this." Jiang Ian actually mentioned something about this exact problem, destroying the connection to the mask organization. Haku looks completely worn down as he internally debates cutting that deep bond. But suddenly, the incoming sword. Seijuro lunges forward, aiming a deadly strike right at Haku's eyes. Startled, Haku leans back just in time to dodge. Seijuro looks down, thinking, "This kid reacts way too much." But Seijuro is too fast, rushing right back at Haku and delivering a brutal strike straight to his gut. He figures the kid has zero chance to counterattack now. Putting all his strength into a devastating kick, he blasts Haku right in the stomach. In a flash, Haku goes flying through the air. Seijuro raises two fingers and speaks. "So even that supposedly cursed mask is nothing but a total failure?" Just like that, Seijuro summons massive chunks of solid ice right out of nowhere. Haku is sent flying backward, slamming incredibly hard into an ice boulder and shattering a massive chunk of it. He grits his teeth. He is in agonizing pain after that brutal combo. Suddenly, he opens his eyes wide, glaring back at his attacker as he tries to stand, only to see Seijuro already sprinting right at him again. He charges in fast, driving a devastating knee strike deep into Haku's already battered stomach. The pain is so absolute he actually coughs up fresh blood. Watching this happen, Seijuro thinks about the kid's connection to that cursed mask. Then Seijuro grips his sword, staring at Haku pinned against the razor-sharp ice block. Raising his blade, he rushes in and coldly declares, "This whole thing ends right here." Haku doesn't even move. He is almost entirely drained. Seeing the final attack coming, Miriam screams out in absolute agony, begging him to stop. But Seijuro completely ignores her. He steps in and brutally slashes Haku over and over again. Haku screams in excruciating pain as thick blood literally pours from his broken body. Now, here is where you and I need to pay attention. One eye on the mask slowly loses consciousness and droops. It fades away and closes as the ice collapses. Instantly, it starts crumbling to pieces. Seijuro just stands there coldly, watching Haku collapse in agonizing pain right at his feet. Seeing this brutal end, Miriam is heartbroken, sobbing completely helplessly. Then Seijuro indifferently turns his back on the carnage, dropping one final line. What a massive waste of time. But suddenly, Haku's hand shoots up from the ground, grabbing tightly onto Seijuro's ankle. He is totally startled, realizing Haku isn't dead yet. Tied up nearby, An exhausted Miriam cries out, "Please stop. You and I both know this isn't over." Seijiro turns around, locking eyes with Haku. "I will give you credit for your persistence," he says. And then, "You really dare step up to me?" Seijiro thinks with a cruel smirk. He grips his blade, raising it high. Then he coldly declares, "Pay for that arrogance with your very life." Without hesitation, he swings the massive blade down. Seeing this, Miriam bursts into tears, sprinting desperately toward Haku. Seijiro steps into his deadly slash. Suddenly, a memory flashes through Miriam's mind. Those hands reaching out to her back then were so gentle. She had squeezed her eyes shut, too afraid to look. But instead of pain, that person just pulled her into a warm, loving embrace. It wasn't scary at all. A weak, tender voice whispered, "Listen to me, Miriam." Blood dripped onto the floor. That person continued with gentle advice. "Someday, if you find a true friend you want to hold close, you have to share your real feelings with them." Wrapped safely in that warm hug, the tender voice added, "Just like telling them, 'Wow, this food is really delicious,' or saying this is so much fun, or even admitting that something truly hurts. Just like that, you share the burden by splitting it." Snap back to reality. Seijiro panics as blood sprays violently right in front of him. Miriam threw her own body forward, blocking the fatal strike meant for Haku. Haku's eyes go wide in absolute horror. She collapses straight into his arms. He stammers out, completely broken, "Miriam." Leaning weakly against him, Miriam whispers, "To save, to protect. Wasn't that what you were always trying to say? You really shouldn't use heavy words like that with a girl." Even through agonizing pain, she comforts him gently. "It must hurt so much, right? I am so sorry for all the pain, for all the suffering you endured." She stammers out weakly, "Just share it with." Before she can even finish, Miriam goes limp, sliding off Haku. Seeing this unfold, you and I definitely didn't see that coming. Seijiro covers his mouth, stammering in disbelief. "What are you doing? I never planned this. I never intended to kill you." He screams out in sheer anger. "Why would you sacrifice yourself to protect trash like this?" Right then, Haku just sits there, paralyzed, staring at Miriam's warm blood soaking his hands. He's shaking, completely unable to process that this nightmare is real. He clenches his fists tightly, finally making a choice. Suddenly, five eyes snap open, overflowing with absolute rage. Those deep, glowing red eyes lock onto Seijiro, boiling with pure hatred. Moving like actual lightning, Haku roars furiously and delivers a devastating, skull-crushing punch right into Seijiro's face. The punch is so absurdly powerful that it sends Seijiro flying backward through the air. Sent crashing away, he's totally stunned and furious, thinking to himself in pure disbelief, "That thing actually blocked my attack. What the hell is this?" Seijiro is completely baffled. What just happened? And then, in a flash, Haku closes the distance instantly. He lands a brutal, bone-breaking kick right into Seijiro, unleashing all his rage. Taking the massive hit, Seijiro violently coughs up blood, screaming out in agonizing pain again. Before he can even guard, Haku strikes again, launching him away. Immediately after, Haku's legs gather energy, preparing to launch. He rockets through the air, chasing right after the tumbling Seijiro. His approach is dead cold, but burning with relentless vengeance. In a heartbeat, Haku's eyes go wide, locking onto his prey ahead. Still skidding back, Seijiro aggressively wipes the blood from his mouth and swings his arm. Suddenly, massive chunks of solid rock rise into the air. Using his fierce magic, he hurls the huge boulders forward. Seijiro charges aggressively to counterattack Haku. Haku does the same, matching that intense killing intent as he blasts forward. Their monstrous powers violently collide through one epic, heavy-hitting punch. Both fighters swing with godlike speed. Blinding light erupts from the impact. Neither of them backs down an inch. Seijiro grits his teeth, pouring everything into his assault. But Haku holds his ground, calmly attacking at max capacity. Suddenly, the reinforced stone armor on Seijiro's arm completely shatters. He stutters out in pure shock. "Wait, what?" In a flash, Haku lands another earth-shattering blow right into Seijiro's gut. He pulls his arm back, channeling every ounce of his raw power into his fist, winding up for another hate-fueled strike. Without zero hesitation, he smashes Seijiro again. Seijiro coughs up even more blood, flying backward in extreme pain. He still can't believe it. Just why? Taking this brutal combo attack leaves Seijiro entirely stunned. How am I the one getting overpowered here? Now, you and I know Haku isn't stopping. He ruthlessly pounds Seijiro's face. Seijiro is shocked, a literal nobody is hurting him. Bitterly, he curses inwardly. I have already drawn so much power from this cursed mask. He grinds his teeth hard, too furious to just roll over and submit. Fighting back, Seijiro violently kicks Haku right in the chest. But then, out of nowhere, Seijiro suddenly breaks down, grabbing his head and shrieking miserably. Haku gets pushed back. Seijiro aggressively yells out, "You and me! The pain we have endured, the absolute power we have built up. Everything about us makes us different from the rest of this world." Then he screams, "Do not get in my way." He instantly dashes right to where Haku is standing. Seijiro blasts a wave of freezing ice magic toward him. He summons giant blocks of solid ice, roaring wildly. "Stop standing in my way." Haku stays dead silent, calmly staring at the huge ice block right in front of him. Hakuki replies with zero panic. "You talk big about fairness, but in the end, it is really only about you, isn't it?" He continues sharply. "Your incredibly fragile pride." Suddenly, Seijiro's booming voice cuts him off completely. "Do not drag us into this entire mess." Finishing his thought, Haku locks onto Seijiro and strikes. He leaps high, soaring rapidly straight toward him. As Haku closes in, Seijiro screams back with insane rage, "You are just a reckless fool." Rushing forward totally blind, Seijiro furiously charges closer, shrieking at the top of his lungs, "Just drop dead. Let's see how this ends." Haku sprints fast across the ice, fists clenched with pure resolve. He stares coldly ahead, raising his hand to deliver the final strike. "All right, you and I are about to see something wild." He summons the cursed mask's link, tracking its dark energy. The variants suddenly appear, fully connecting to Haku's trail. The connection locks onto Haku. He closes his eyes, feeling the energy flow, waiting for it to fully link up before a razor-sharp sword suddenly manifests. Radiating pure killer intent, Haku coldly grips his new blade. He steps forward and swings his sword violently right at Seijiro. Sparks fly everywhere. The blade cuts through absolutely everything in its path, shattering every single layer of solid ice as it hurtles straight towards Seijiro. Caught completely off guard, Seijiro screams out. He cannot react in time as the blade stops mere inches from his wide, terrified eyes. But his mask takes the hit. Arrogance returns instantly. "Like I would ever lose to someone like you," he mocks, his evil laughter echoing loudly in every direction. But wait. Haku suddenly launches himself high into the air, declaring coldly, "This is my absolute victory." With that, he pulls back his fist and dives straight down. Seijiro freezes in pure shock as Haku suddenly appears right before him, landing a brutal punch directly to his face. Seijiro goes down hard. Meanwhile, 3 black cars speed side by side through the pitch-black night, tearing up the dark road. The big boss sits quietly inside, staring out the window. Suddenly sensing a shift in the air, he completely stops looking outside, his expression growing dead serious. He immediately orders the driver to step on the gas. Obeying without hesitation, the 3 cars accelerate, blazing at top speed down the empty highway. A squad of security guards furiously sprints right behind the speeding vehicles. But let's shift our focus back to Haku. He looks fully recovered now. Clenching his hand into a tight fist, he stands firm behind that chilling mask of ice. Seijiro's eyes are wide with utter disbelief. He makes zero attempt to dodge, taking the full, devastating force of Haku's punch straight on. Haku's eyes burn with an intense hatred, looking ready to tear him apart alive. Seijiro, having just eaten that massive blow, stumbles back. He collapses instantly, eyes rolling back, coughing up blood. Pushed past its absolute limit, the massive ice block cracks, then finally gives way and violently explodes into pieces. Attack finished, Haku stops to rest, panting heavily from the extreme exertion. He gasps for air like a man who just barely escaped drowning. His enemy lies motionless on the cold ground. Suddenly, Haku snaps his head around, his eyes locking onto the dark interior of the nearby truck. The doors are wide open, but Miriam is nowhere to be seen. Drained of his strength, Haku staggers toward the vehicle, managing only a few weak steps. His body simply gives out, and he crashes to the ground. Refusing to quit, he struggles back up, slowly raising his head to look forward. And there they are, a familiar pair of legs standing right in front of him. Thankfully, Miriam completely freed herself from Seijiro's tight bindings. She drops to her knees beside him. Ignoring his own pain, he only worries about her, staring at her bleeding injuries. "You're hurt?" he asks. Sounding utterly exhausted, Miriam replies, "Yeah, it really hurts." Then, out of nowhere, she gently reaches out and strokes his cheek. Caught totally off guard, he blushes bright red, feeling incredibly shy about the sudden contact. Unable to handle the embarrassment, Haku quickly pulls his face away from her touch. Compared to me, you're the one. I'm perfectly fine, he stammers. Still holding her wound, Miriam looks at him and says bluntly, there is no way you're fine. Stop trying to act so tough right now. Blood is actively pouring down Haku's body. She points out that he is bleeding everywhere and absolutely needs urgent medical help right this second. Or else you'll die, she warns. Miriam simply tries to grab his hand to pull him along, but he cannot handle it and blushes hard again. Come on, let's go. Haku immediately pulls his hand back. Miriam stares at him, looking visibly confused. Realizing he is just embarrassed, she compromises by firmly grabbing his wrist this time instead of holding his hand. Let's move. You can still stand, right? What? The two walk together for a long while, with her stubbornly pulling him along by the arm. Haku stares at Miriam with complete admiration. She is so strong. Suddenly, looking down, she whispers, thank you. Haku just flashes her a warm, happy smile. No, you don't need to thank me. Look, you're going to catch a cold. But this time, she actually grabs his hand, her voice dead serious. Haku, I mean it. Thank you. Haku's eyes go wide in surprise. Feeling genuinely happy, his cheeks turn pink as his eyes crinkle. Yeah, it's nothing. He smiles gently, completely calming Miriam's worried heart. What matters is that I finally get to see you like this. To actually talk with you. He slowly looks up, meeting Miriam's gaze. Glancing briefly behind her, he adds, I'm really happy. But then, stepping out of nowhere, the boss aggressively marches toward the duo, a terrifying phantom of a dark goddess radiating from his body. Haku tenses up in pure panic, shouting loudly at him, Who are you? Meanwhile, Seijiro, the guy Haku knocked out earlier, is finally awake. Trembling violently, he drops to his knees before the approaching boss. Father, I am so sorry. I will eliminate him right now. Now, this is where things get truly terrifying. The boss stops right in front of them, casually scans the scene, and softly mutters, You have some guts. Seijiro is so terrified he completely stops breathing. Haku stares in absolute shock at the old man's words, noting the incredibly rare cursed mask the boss is wearing. Hey, white-haired kid, the boss says, slowly turning his back to the three of them. If you can actually wear that thing, then you must be. A blonde demon with horns drops into a fighting stance. Beside him, a blue-haired guy draws his sword, waiting for the command to attack. These are the boss's top enforcers, and an army of security guards. Give up. Trembling before this overwhelming, fatal threat, Haku instantly grabs Miriam's wrist, turns around, and completely sprints for their lives. We have to run away right now, but Haku hesitates for just a second, barely making it any distance at all. But the blue-haired guy is already right in his face. A split second, and his blade slices straight into Haku. No time to dodge, just pure, agonizing pain. Blood spills from Haku's mouth. Refusing to give up, he tightens his grip on Miriam's hand. Together, they keep running for their lives. Blocked again, this time by the horned brute. He is easily twice Haku's size, and he rams those massive horns right into his chest. Ripping Miriam away, the sheer force of the impact sends Haku flying straight up. Before he can even breathe, the blue-haired guy leaps up, swinging his sword. Fresh blood drips down like syrup. Guess you enjoyed your youth while it lasted. Too short, huh, kid? Tears stream down Haku's face as the horned freak grabs him, dangling him completely helpless in midair. At least I will let you say your final words. He ruthlessly slams Haku into the dirt. Miriam panics, rushing over and crying out his name. The arrogant leader steps up behind her. Well, are you done yet? Miriam is terrified, trembling with worry. She looks from Haku to the boss with absolute dread. Her eyes show hesitation at first, but then she bites her lip, making her ultimate choice. Miriam stands up straight. Her heart completely calm now, she speaks with absolute clarity. Take me instead. She is sacrificing herself just to save his life. She clearly lays out her demand. I am the one you guys actually want, right? Please, let this kid go. The old boss stares at her, his face completely emotionless. He coldly replies, You should have done this from the very beginning. Miriam gently takes off her outer coat and Miriam stands up, about to follow the boss. But Haku trembles, desperately begging her to stay. No. He forces himself up, shaking in pain. Don't go, he says weakly. You have no idea what they will do. They might actually kill you. You absolutely cannot go, Haku pleads, while Miriam looks back, her face totally torn. But she makes her choice. She turns away, refusing to look back. Haku screams helplessly from behind. Wait, please stay. Tears stream down his face. No, not like this, Miriam. But her silhouette just keeps fading further into the distance. Haku can do absolutely nothing but beg in pure despair. Please, do not go. Hearing his desperate cries, Miriam freezes. She wants to turn back, completely worried as she sees him crying helplessly on the dirt. She hesitates. But suddenly, a massive hand reaches out. The giant bull-headed guy grabs Miriam in a vice grip. The boss barks an order. Do not make me wait. Let's move. Instantly, Haku's veins bulge. He grits his teeth, snapping into combat mode. Weird crow patterns ink across his arm. His eyes roll back, completely white as he charges. Haku glares, locking onto his huge target. He swings his arm, and a dark flock of crows surrounds him. Ignoring everyone else, he blasts straight for that giant. The boss does not even flinch, totally ice cold. And the bull guy? No words. He just brings his knee up, smashing Haku with a brutal strike. Haku's eyes go wide, coughing up blood, but the guy keeps channeling energy. The purple-haired guy joins in, charging up his own attack. Both rush forward, ready to smash Haku to pieces. Miriam watches. She gasps in pure horror. But here is where it gets wild. A blazing golden light slashes across, completely stopping their attack. Sorry guys, I just needed a quick break, Chuen says casually. Only now does the boss actually bother to turn and look. Haku lies dazed on the dirt. Weakly opening his eyes, he sees nothing but Chuen's incredibly imposing back. Purple hair clicks his tongue, sensing things just got way more complicated. Suddenly, he realizes something is wrong and looks toward the big guy. Over there, the bull-headed guy notices the danger too. What? He yells. The masked villain just keeps grinding his teeth. Jiangdi literally spawns out of nowhere, dual-wielding guns right at him. The bull has zero time to react. 3 quick shots pierce straight through his arm. He involuntarily drops Miriam, sending her tumbling down in a panic. A sharp tongue click rings out. Jiangdi dashes in, catching her just in time and getting her away from that monster. Chuen just laughs, clearly amused. Impressive, you stubborn kid. I like that determination. But here is the thing, those 3 aren't the only ones coming to the rescue. Up above? A whole squad is watching, just waiting for the perfect signal to strike. The leader stares them down for a few tense seconds. He looks right at the crowd and smirks, finally paying off. So, you must be the infamous Chuen from Noise. Chuen flashes a massive, arrogant grin back at the boss. Oh wow, even the big shots know my name now? He is absolutely loving this. The old man's eyebrows snap together. Meanwhile, Haku is totally drained, dead eyes, face dripping with cold sweat. His fingers twitch, slowly sliding closer to Miriam. Haku fights to just lift his hand off the dirt, pulling together every last ounce of strength he has left. He finally grabs her hand right before everything goes black. The very last thing reflecting in his fading eyes, Miriam's completely terrified, worried face. She quickly pulls him into her lap, absolute panic in her expression. Up ahead, Chuen is still fighting like an absolute madman. Deep inside Haku's fading mind, a memory flashes. His mother walking away in the cold snow, crystal clear, like it just happened yesterday. He turns back to look at her, tears streaming down his face. Because back then, Haku was really just a helpless little kid. All right, let's watch this unfold. He presses against the door, crying endlessly. Then comes the cold, absolute disgust from his own blood relatives. Haku collapses right to his knees in front of that door. He is totally crushed by guilt, begging for forgiveness. Time slowly passes. Growing up, Haku sits in his classroom, completely lost in his own thoughts. Please, just wait. Do not leave me all alone. Wait! He reaches out, desperately grabbing at Miriam's fading silhouette. Haku snaps awake from the nightmare, tears streaming down his face, screaming her name. The room is dead silent. Besides Haku, there is absolutely no one else around. His body is heavily bandaged, his shirt still soaked in thick blood. He looks around, totally confused. Where exactly is this place? She is sleeping right by his bed. The sudden movement actually wakes her up too. Miriam slowly opens her eyes. She looks totally exhausted, but then her face instantly lights up with joy. You are finally awake. Miriam looks like she could collapse from sheer relief seeing Haku safe. Thank goodness. He quickly turns to ask her, I am so glad. How are you feeling right now? Are you really okay? You took a massive hit to your back too. While Haku is busy rambling, Miriam suddenly leans forward and gives him a tight hug. Haku immediately blushes, freezing up and staying completely silent. Reality finally hits him. His face turns bright red, looking like he might literally explode. Haku quickly pushes Miriam back. I am so sorry, I totally fainted. How did we even get here? Looking exhausted, she tries to remember. Well, After that whole crazy incident, we did not actually need to win today. That was when Jiang Tae stepped right up to her and said exactly that. Jiang Tae coldly ordered Chu En to retreat. Chu En did not even ask. He simply replied, "Understood." Right after that, he swung his mighty fist, and a massive, blazing flame instantly erupted. The blazing fire completely wrapped around his arm. Snapping back to the present moment, Miriam continues her story. So right now, we are actually hiding inside their safe house. He looks down at all the brutal injuries covering his body. Haku finally puts the pieces together. So that is how it all went down. He only remembers that purple-haired psycho slashing across his chest. That massive, bull-headed monster delivered a brutal kick straight to Haku's stomach. The pain was so intense he literally spat out blood. Then, that beast grabbed him. It felt like it was trying to snap every single bone in his body. Suddenly, Haku glances over at his mask, resting perfectly still on the nearby table. Haku clenches his fists super tight. He knows the harsh truth. Their raw strength is just on a completely different level. I couldn't do a thing. I was totally useless. Suddenly, a massive crash echoes from outside their door. A loud voice screams out, "Hey, stop it. Just calm down for a second. Let me assess the situation first. I am not trying to kill you, all right? Just chill." The desperate voice just keeps echoing, begging them to calm down. Suddenly, Chu En gets kicked brutally into the room, completely smashing the door right off its hinges. Chu En clicks his tongue in annoyance. Seeing him, they are totally shocked. Miriam asks, "Chu En?" But he has absolutely zero time to explain anything. He turns and shouts, "Protect my daughter, kid. She is our leader." But before he can even finish his sentence, Jiang Tae comes flying right into the room. She lands smoothly right on Miriam's shoulder and smirks. "We finally get to meet face to face, little daughter." Jiang Tae is literally overflowing with terrifying killing intent. She aims her gun straight at her. "Time to die." Haku panics, instantly reaching out to stop her. Miriam is completely frozen in fear, unable to speak a word. Without any hesitation, Jiang Tae pulls the trigger. But mid-air, the deadly bullet is suddenly deflected, as if some invisible force just totally pushed it off its course. Two stray bullets smash straight into the wall, leaving deep, smoking holes. Jiang Tae just smirks and asks, "See that? It always ends up exactly like this." With that, she jumps down. Jiang Shi, standing right behind them, completely agrees. It really seems that way. Haku is totally confused. "Chu En, who exactly are these people?" He looks away and sighs. "Sorry, it is way too complicated right now." Chu En then drops a massive bombshell. "They are my sisters. The two leaders of that organization, my older sister, Jiang Shi, and my younger sister, Jiang Tae. The leaders of our entire organization." He continues his totally wild explanation. Jiang Tae raises her gun again, flashing a totally twisted smile. "Nice to meet you. Now goodbye. You and I both know it is not over yet." Hearing those words, Miriam completely freezes up in shock. Chu En aggressively yells out, "Wait, I am completely exhausted. I cannot even defend myself against you anymore. It is honestly only a matter of time before I completely fail again. If I actually kill you now, there is zero reason to even keep fighting this war." Jiang Tae just stares coldly. Leaving Miriam totally stunned, she keeps pushing. Being mercilessly hunted down by the entire world like some wild animal. Living like that has to be exhausting, right? But do not worry. Jiang Tae squints her eyes, revealing an absolutely twisted and totally bloodthirsty glare. One bullet, and everything ends fast. Haku cannot hold back his burning anger anymore. He jumps straight up, shielding Miriam completely with his own body. "What the hell are you even saying?" She simply glares right at Haku with cold dead eyes. "Shut up, kid." She then asks with a look of pure disgust, "You are just going to stay totally silent right now? Who do you even think you are, hiding behind a little kid? Do you think you are playing some princess? How exactly do you expect this to end? Why do you keep running away? Why are you still even breathing?" Jiang Tae screams right into Miriam's panicked face. She is completely furious now. Those weak fools who just hopelessly cling to absolutely nothing. They will simply be crushed under the heels of the strong. Meanwhile, those harsh words just keep endlessly echoing inside Miriam's head. "What exactly are you living for? Why are you even here right now? Tell me. Show me your true will. Answer me now." Miriam is sweating like crazy, desperately stuttering out, I. But then, she just collapses, completely silent. Jiang Tae stares down at her, analyzing every single move. "All right, you and I are jumping right in." Her finger hovers over the trigger, nothing. Miriam finally speaks up. Someone is always watching her. Now she is being hunted down by absolute creeps like this. And even here, someone is always listening. Beside her, Haku is in total agony, his entire body trembling nonstop. Miriam thinks back, realizing she has never truly been alone since the day she was born. Gripping her dress tight, she just wants some peace. Suddenly, her expression completely flips into pure, murderous rage. She warns them to stay away from people like her to actually be free. Jiang Dai hears this without flinching at all. So that is how it is. I get your willpower now, but your attachment to living just is not strong enough yet. If you fall into their hands, do you have any idea what will happen? You do not understand anything at all, she continues coldly. Jiang Dai tilts her head up and challenges, tell me, who do you think you are? Let me show you right now. The person that even you have not realized yet. As she speaks and steps closer, Jiang Dui keeps the gun aimed squarely right at them. Then she fires off some intense questions. How much do you actually know, girl? What kind of person are you? Or why do they call you a weapon? Hearing those words makes her feel furious, and I wanted to say, locks onto Jiang Du and launches a devastating kick that practically tears through the wind. After that, he follows up by throwing a massively powerful punch. Jiang Dui instantly blocks the heavy strike for her, flashing a totally mocking smile, and knocks him away like it is nothing. Haku gets super angry, ready to use his weapon, but Miriam quickly jumps in. Stop it, Haku! But neither he nor Jiang Dui have any intention of backing down. She panics and screams out, Haku, stop! Everything they are saying right now is the truth. Miriam looks dead serious. Do not fight anymore. Just talk to each other instead. A little while later, down inside Noise's underground hideout, Chu En looks completely depressed hearing Jiang Du say, so, in other words, you should just die. She immediately gets smacked for that and is told to explain everything clearly right now. And first of all, you need to apologize. She bitterly mutters, I am sorry. Jiang Dai also speaks with genuine sincerity. I apologize for being so rude to you earlier. She also points out that right now, they are all working together as a team. Our family registers were erased, so we are known as Noise. Haku looks confused. Noise? Jiang Dai explains they are people without any official existence. It is meant as an insult, but I actually like it. She tells them how the world sees them. To everyone else, we are just loud garbage, but maybe that is a badge of honor, right? Then Jiang Dui introduces the rest of the crew. Down here we have the outcasts, orphans born with 0 records, basically anyone the rest of this awful world decided to completely throw away. She suspects a very specific organization. She admits, yeah, it is the exact same group hunting you down right now. Miriam is super skeptical. Hunting me? Now pay attention, because you and I are about to hear something completely insane. Jiang Du tells them to listen closely. The two of them wait anxiously. She starts explaining a wild theory that planet Earth was actually formed 4.6 billion years ago. Life itself kicked off 3.8 billion years ago, and from there, it was a ridiculously long evolutionary process. Human ancestors only showed up 2 million years ago, and modern civilization barely started 5,000 years ago. So here is the crazy hypothesis they came up with. During those 3.8 billion years, that massive gap between the very first life forms and humanity finally appearing, could there have been entirely different forms of humanity besides us? In other words, ancient human civilizations existed continuously throughout that time, and then just completely vanished. Jiang Dai highlights one major detail here. Actually, there are plenty of traces from ancient civilizations that somehow survived the great mass extinctions, have totally been discovered, even if they are incredibly rare. However, she also strongly believes it is way too early to brush this all off as just wild myths. Hearing this, Haku suddenly curses out loud, you bastard. He thinks to himself, damn it, ancient civilizations, that is actually so incredibly romantic. Seeing Haku act like this, he smirks. I totally get it, kid. Guys are always drawn to the ancient world. Even so, Haku is still super curious. But what does ancient history have to do with anything? What is the connection to the group hunting Miriam? Jiang Dai answers, they are the ones who created it, existing all the way since ancient times, endlessly destroying themselves and reviving. From what they said, she figured out that dark, hidden forces are secretly controlling this entire world from the shadows. The 10 creation sects, those carrying the will of God, also known as the Society of Saints. Plus, Jiang Dui confidently claims he can just laugh it off. Call it a garbage conspiracy theory if you want, but the reality is, it is completely true. She goes into even more detail about that shadow organization. They are the exact ones who created this world. They do not follow any rules, and they have 0 morals. With no logic or sense of justice, they freely play around with this world. They are the absolute, undisputed rulers of everything. With Haku staring in pure shock, Jiangdu heavily emphasizes, "Do you understand the sheer scale of their power?" Haku quietly imagines this terrifying, mystical, supernatural force hiding deep in the shadows. At the exact same time, she adds that they consider modern humans to be completely useless. The true nature of those 10 absolute rulers, Jiangdu confirms, is exactly what will soon come to snatch her away. Meanwhile, stick with me here. Over at a seaside mansion, a totally blush-worthy scene unfolds. This girl is absolutely loving every second of intense pleasure. Right in the middle of her excitement, Ranahas asks the guard, "Has the old man escaped yet?" He bows respectfully. "Yes, sir, he has." "All right, you and I are diving into the madness." Lord Nash finishes his job, staring at the women on the floor. It still is not enough. Right then, a sudden noise echoes out. Nash gets seriously annoyed. Such a massive headache at a time like this. The girl is so terrified she can only mumble absolute nonsense. Watching this monster transform right in front of her, she stutters out one word. "Snake." Nash strikes. One bite, completely ending the girl. After easily cleaning up the mess, the villain asks, "It is a woman this time, right?" Nash actually loves the idea of using her as a literal weapon. But then this absolute sick freak suddenly says, "Let us do something fun first, shall we?" Saying that, Nash completely crushes Miriam's photo. Meanwhile, Hunter charges forward, throwing a massive punch right at Chase. But Chase's reaction speed is just absolutely out of this world, so he easily blocks the punch. Finding an opening, Hunter instantly pulls back his leg and bends his knee for an attack. His eyes dart around, desperately searching for a weakness. He extends his leg, launching a fierce kick at Chase's left side. Amazingly, Chase still blocks this heavy strike. Chase sneakily grabs onto Hunter's ankle. Not only that, he lets out this totally creepy laugh. While Hunter is still confused by the weird sound, his opponent suddenly spins around. Gripping the leg tight with both hands, he slams him down. Taking the full momentum of that force, Hunter crashes hard into the floor, squeezing his eyes shut in pain. Chase happily stands there, dusting off his hands, cheering Hunter on. Meanwhile, the kid is already scanning the whole room, hunting for any possible tactical advantage. "This is only the beginning, kid." Catching him off guard, Hunter channels all his power into his arms and explosively pushes his entire body right back up. He drives a powerful kick dead into the center of Chase's chest. But Chase is ready, crossing his arms into an X shape to completely block the heavy damage. Behind the mask, he smirks and secretly praises him. This kid is seriously flexible. He truly has a natural talent for this kind of combat. Hunter lands perfectly, standing firm just like when the fight started. The kid learns incredibly fast, and he immediately relies on his high speed to press the attack again. He dashes forward to strike Chase. The guy showers him with praise. "That was genuinely awesome just now, kid. You are seriously so cool out here. Pay attention, because we are getting some wild lore now." Chase explains the exact origins of the masks on their faces. These masks actually come straight from our ancient ancestors. You need to connect with it using your own emotions. While explaining this, he charges in for a wild attack. Synchronize your feelings right into the mask. When he manages to do that for the very first time, Hunter's eyes go wide, like he just realized something huge. His fists slowly clench up with raw power. His eyes widen. Deep inside his pupils, you can see him finally taking control of his abilities and true strength. Chase teaches him so many crucial lessons. You will master your anger, you will tremble with fear, and you will fully immerse yourself in the pain. You will cry until you completely wither away. His gaze is rock solid as he passes all this deep wisdom down. But you have to endure it. Killing your emotions will not make you an adult. The three eyes on the mask begin opening wider and wider. "This is my first time seeing your mask." The wider your eyes open, the more insane abilities you unlock. Hunter raises his arm, locking into a heavy punching stance. Chase just keeps right on talking. In other words, your mask holds an unbelievable amount of potential. Hunter finally throws his devastating punch forward, yet Chase stops that epic strike using just a single hand. Then he places his palm right against Hunter's forehead. The kid has no idea what is happening, so he does not even try dodging. Make your emotions even stronger. With that, Hunter gets flicked extremely hard on the forehead. Just completely unleash them as much as you possibly can. Chase forms his hand into a finger gun shape. The force is so insanely intense that his fingertip is literally smoking. Then you might even stand beside your girl. Down below, Hunter stares right up at him. Once again, he springs back onto his feet to continue fighting. Meanwhile, Miriam and Gwen, watching the intense training session from the sidelines, she turns and asks Miriam, How long have they been sparring now? Almost 5 solid hours. Hunter has been practicing without a single break. Even so, that kid's movements are somehow getting sharper and sharper as time goes on. Gwen looks over and makes a comment. At first glance, he seems pretty goofy. So I honestly thought he was just a kid who got bullied a lot. The truth is actually the exact opposite. She is a bit surprised by Miriam's response. The opposite? Well, it is true his friends tease him a lot, but the reason is completely backward. Before this, Hunter actually had a classmate grab him aggressively by the collar, lifting him up just to threaten him. He is a bit timid when dealing with social situations in public. He is super shy and completely awkward. He never fought back and would just laugh it off. So people easily looked down on him and constantly bullied him. But when it comes to sports and academics, absolutely no one can match Hunter. His grades and studying habits? You could genuinely call them flawless. So that is the story. After hearing all this from Miriam, Gwen slowly starts to understand. I get it now. You truly cannot judge a book by its cover. You are right. Miriam's face suddenly grows serious. But he is not your typical brilliant genius. He simply keeps trying and trying until he finally succeeds. Once he finally decides to do something, he does it over and over, time and time again. He will push himself like a maniac. Even though Hunter is panting and exhausted, he does not stop his intense dedication. Miriam adds, "It is honestly a painful way to live. He is an incredibly practical kid." She sighs, looking a little sad. Sometimes, it gets pretty annoying too. A guy who clings like a leech is never great. Gwen looks down at Miriam and smiles warmly. You really seem to keep an eye on him, do you not? She curiously asks Miriam, what exactly is he to you? Miriam looks down, staying silent for a moment before hesitantly speaking up. That kid is. She says this while gazing toward Hunter. So what do we take from this? Right then, he looks over at them both. He is my friend. A bitter sadness flashes in Miriam's eyes. An old friend. Jiangxi stares off into the empty distance. All right, you and I are about to see exactly what ties her to that kid. She breaks it down one more time. He is a close friend from way back, so she actually cares about him. Well then, listen up, girl. Jiangxi's blunt words leave Miriam completely stunned. She warns her not to drag the kid into this mess. Her eyes widen in pure shock. Jiangxi turns around, dropping one final warning on Miriam. At this rate, he is going to die. Do not let your friend get killed so easily. Without another word, she turns and walks away. Got it? Tomorrow morning, they are hunting down her mask. Just the two of them, no one else. Taking it all in, Miriam drops her gaze, heavy with genuine sadness. She thinks back to every single time Haku stayed right by her side. That kid practically sacrificed himself to save her life. Always stepping up, always ready to protect her whenever disaster struck. Total loyalty. Miriam bites her lip hard. You can tell she really hates this idea. She lifts her head, her eyes locking onto where Haku is resting. The next morning, it is still pitch dark when Miriam wakes up. She turns back, watching Haku still deep in his sleep. She slips out of bed, grabbing her gear and throwing it on. Every piece is perfectly in place. Her belt strapped tight around her waist. For the final touch, Miriam grabs her signature yellow cloak and swings it over her shoulders. She quietly walks past the sleeping Haku. Miriam gently grabs his wrist, sitting down beside him to just watch him for a quiet moment. A little later, she pushes the door open and leaves. Jiangxi is already waiting out there for her. Looks like she is fully prepared. She takes one last glance inside, then firmly shuts the door. Miriam gives Jiangxi a rock-solid confirmation. Yes. Jiangxi lets out a heavy sigh, her voice dropping deep. You made the right call, girl. Cutting ties with that silver-haired boy is tough. Miriam has no words, just staring out and giving a quiet nod. Chu En is behind the wheel, but his tone is pure sarcasm. That kid has become a seriously valuable fighter now, you know. Man, what a complete waste. It really is a massive waste. Jiang Dae, chilling in the back of the car, looks completely annoyed by that little comment he just made. You are the only one thinking that. Chu En honestly could not care less, purposely keeping the conversation going. Is this really how you want it, girl? Are you not feeling lonely at all? Miriam fires back instantly without missing a beat. No. Honestly, I should have done this way sooner. I feel so much more relaxed without him hanging around here. Chu En raises his voice, ready to snap back. But get this, before he can finish, another voice cuts right through the tension. Keep your eyes on the road. Jiangxi groans, telling him to shut up. Jiang Dae jumps in to mock him too. You seriously need to shower later, you smell awful. Miriam drops the incredibly polite request. And could you please stop smoking? Chu En is totally bitter but cannot even argue back. muttering that guys are way cuter. Jungdae totally backs Miriam up. Honestly, that kid would just get in our way out here anyway. Keeping you protected is already hard enough. That is not necessary. But honestly, she secretly knew exactly how all of this would end. Once we finally destroy my mask, right? I'm going to be totally fine. I do not need you people protecting me. Seeing her react like that makes Jungdae visibly angry. You are just a loudmouth brat. Chu-en mutters under his breath, pointing out that she is no different. Miriam lowers her head, looking completely down. I am finally going to handle this on my own. Suddenly, a finger pokes her right in the side, making her jump and let out a startled gasp. Miriam, why the dazed look? Jiangxi steps in with some advice. You are just a tiny, fragile kid. You have the soft body of an ordinary woman. She sounds exactly like a caring older sister. You cannot just run around claiming you will do it all yourself with a frail body like that, trying hard to convince her. This right here is the true meaning of surviving a battle. You absolutely cannot make it out here all alone. Now, you and I both see her flaw. You do not know how to rely on anyone. Jiangxi wants Miriam to drop this mindset, pushing everyone away because getting close is terrifying. Do not mistake that isolation for actual strength, Jiangxi adds. You need to learn how to accept help and let people care for you. That is step one. Her voice hits with heavy emphasis. Do you understand? Seeing Miriam actually starting to soften up, she pushes the lesson even harder. Only after that, you can finally learn to fight. You will become incredibly strong. Suddenly, Jungdae scowls hard, calling her a loudmouth brat again. Chu-en instantly blurts out that he is exactly the same. He gives a polite little laugh. Exactly right. You are still just a kid. If you ever need any help out there, just come looking for this handsome guy anytime. But wait, something up ahead catches him totally off guard. It is Haku stepping right out into the open, with a massive flock of crows scattering everywhere. He bursts out laughing at the insane sight. Looks like the number of noisy kids just went up by one. Jiangdae looks completely bewildered. What? Chu-en flashes a highly suspicious smile. From inside the car, someone comments that the kid is hilarious as always. And then, Haku launches himself forward like an absolute rocket. He is moving so fast, the pavement is literally smoking. His footwork is insane, closing the gap with terrifying, god-tier speed. Then, he leaps straight into the air. He free-falls through the sky, black crow feathers raining down all around him. Boom! Haku sticks a perfect landing right on Chu-en's car roof as everyone steps out. Chu-en looks absolutely thrilled, letting out a massive laugh. All right then, Miss Miriam. She stands there speechless, while Haku just scratches his head, looking completely innocent. Chu-en throws his arm around the kid and cheers. The men in the group just went up. Haku's eyes are practically sparkling. He is staring intensely at something. What do you and I see? He is locking eyes with Miriam, while she stands there confused about why he showed up. Haku's eyes drop. She was a bit too harsh. He just doesn't understand her rejection. Jiangxi immediately steps up, blocking him. She clearly said she doesn't need your help. Back off and leave her alone. But Haku already spotted her hidden tracks. Cutting him off firmly, fists clenched tight. Jiang speaks up. Ancient ruin tracks found. Chu-en literally laughs in his face. You actually expect us to believe that total nonsense? I get it though, kid. Ancient ruins. They make your heart race. He points straight ahead, imagining those ruins as living monsters. Endless mysteries that always hook a guy's curiosity. Chu-en grins. Sounds entertaining, but is it really? Jiangxi glares with dead eyes. Is that truly entertaining to you? He awkwardly apologizes. Yeah, my bad. Her voice drops cold. You can tag along, kid, but with your current weak power levels, you are guaranteed to die. Write a will. She explains everything as they walk. We are heading straight into the Gabon forest in Africa. Total forbidden zone, nobody goes there. Filled with pre-human traces. They found them deep inside those ruins. The primordial mask might actually be there. Jiang Wei interrogates immediately. You saw it? What did it look like? But before he can even answer, she totally dismisses him. Never mind, leaving him completely stunned. Listen up. You and I are entering deep lore here. One of them tells Miriam she might match the mask, but legends claim 4 unique types exist. The 4 ancient relics: boat, gun, rain, and the infamous black crow. Among them, only one is actually proven to exist today. Word is, she is totally destined to wear the black crow. Miriam trembles in pure shock. Black crow? A dark, threatening tone drops. Whoever captures her and that black crow mask first completely secures the ultimate god-tier weapon. The real mission? Destroy the black crow completely. A brutal, deadly bloodbath is definitely coming. The survival game officially begins right now. Jiang Wei. Leading the charge, she hypes everyone up. Let's push deeper. Chu En glances over. You holding up okay, girl? But his intentions are purely toxic. He taunts her about massive bugs, snakes, and frogs everywhere. Miriam visibly shrinks back. I hate this. He just keeps mocking her fear. Guys love gross reptiles, right kid? And somehow, Haku nods. Yeah, I love them. Reptiles are basically dragons. A massive red snake silently stalks them. And wait, it is not just one. A whole swarm is watching them now. Janahat steps from the shadows, growling. 3 women, 2 men. His eyes glow viciously red. He calculates his dark master plan from behind. We carve up the women and completely devour the men. The 5-person crew, including Haku and the Chu brothers, marches deeper. Still hunting those ancient ruins, he asks if they are getting close. Jiang Wei snaps back instantly. Almost there, just shut up. Creepy forest noises make a terrified Miriam press close to Haku. Suddenly, a massive python drops in. She literally jumps out of her skin, while he just smiles. What a cute tree python. Miriam panics so hard she tackles him. Realizing what she just did, she awkwardly scrambles away from Haku. So sorry. He just smiles warmly. Hey, it is completely fine. Guess you really hate snakes, huh? He reaches out to pull her up. You okay? Touched, she reaches back to grab his hand. But Jiang Xi's warning echoes. Do not drag the kid into this. Her whole vibe flips instantly, standing up alone, leaving him totally confused. Thanks. Sorry for freaking out. His eyes drop sadly. Yeah, no problem. Then Jiang Xi interrupts. All right, Jiang Wei, the target is somewhere around here, right? She frowns. It should be, but I see absolutely nothing. This fog is way too thick. She hesitates. We must pinpoint the exact coordinates now. Staring blankly, she gives the order. See, do it. Jiang Xi looks deeply worried. Is that actually safe? She hugs her sister tight, activating the Lumiere technique. Haku stares, completely confused. What is that? Chuan explains. It is my sister's mask wax. She can physically mold anything using pure wax. And my younger sister. Jiang Wei's mask is suddenly, an ear-piercing scream drops, terrifying absolutely everyone. What the heck is this? Haku panics. What just happened? Chu En looks away awkwardly. Please, do not tell anyone about this. It is super complicated. This is top secret. He explains. She might look like a completely spoiled brat, but trust me on this. She is our most crucial member. She carries all the pain and massive responsibility. Jiang Wei's body trembles. Dripping with sweat, she finally pinpoints it. The ruins are 50 meters out. Haku innocently looks around. These are the legendary ruins? Chuan, already stripped down, points down. They are underwater. With a massive splash, he dives right in to search. Thick smoke and eternal clouds hide this entire forest from satellite tracking. Theories say it is just like the deepest ocean depths. This zone falls into the 65% of Earth that remains completely unexplored. Zero research exists. So hidden ancient ruins being buried way down here? Honestly, it makes perfect sense. Suddenly, Chu En breaches the surface, revealing a massively shiny, eye-catching golden gate. Time to dive deeper. Jiang Wei screams. Our brother is freezing underground. Light a fire. He snaps back. You idiot. That dive completely drained my stamina. Just give me a second. She refuses. It is creepy down here. Hurry up. Utterly defeated, he sighs. Yeah, got it. All right. You and I are about to see something wild. Chuan powers up, but smack. He eats dirt. Jiangxi groans. Leave this idiot. Jiangxi simply ignites her fire, lighting up the entire dark space in seconds. She commands, all right, we have light, so we will be fine now. Haku looks shocked. Is this an ancient ruin? Jiangxi nods. Yes, after countless disasters, it has stood strong for ages, a true marvel of miraculous technology that goes way beyond anything we have in the modern world today. He spots 2 guardians standing there and wonders, is Miriam's mask here? The group answers him, no, not necessarily. But this place is definitely being protected by some serious hidden force. Chuan throws an arm around Haku. Those are standard guardians. They watch over the extremely precious treasures hidden deep inside these ancient ruins. He explains it clearly. We call these ruins trials. They literally test if we are worthy enough to touch the hidden loot inside. Got it? He asks. So what is your plan, kid? Want me to let you handle one of them? Haku replies, nope. Chuan flinches. Huh? The boy steps up confidently. I was taught to apply what I learned, so leave both to me. He sprints at the guardians. Miriam panics. Wait. Chuen stops her. Girl, do not block his path. She tries to argue, but he interrupts. Just sit back and watch. Her face looks tense. This is the result of his training. Haku rushes in, slashing the guardians non-stop. Chuen watches, evaluating his recent progress. I understand this kid more now. He recalls accidentally punching the boy in the face during their practice. Sorry about that. Initially, the boy was clumsy. But here's the wild part. He never blinks, no matter who he is facing. He observes everything so carefully. His true nature shines when the guardian hits back. Yet Haku easily dodges every single strike. Both guardians attack him at once. He remembers his grueling training days and every single sparring match. Remembering all his hardships, everything converges to crush the two guardians. Miriam is completely stunned. Chuen finishes his thought. He simulates everything in his head. That kid is a learning monster. Haku turns back confidently. Done. But wait, those guardians are not completely down yet. They charge again. He masterfully uses his spear to take down the enemy. In a flash, one guardian is totally defeated. The remaining one sees its partner hit the floor. It instantly tries to strike back. Haku coldly stomps on the fallen one. An explosion erupts. Gripping his spear, he charges back in. Battling the final guardian, his spear easily snaps its wooden weapon completely in half. The spearhead aims directly at its eye for the kill. Then boom, it explodes. Everyone watches from the sidelines. Haku exhales softly. Chuen praises him. Great job, kid. Seems you are finally getting used to that cursed mask. He just replies indifferently. Yeah, my power matches the number of opened eyes. The first eye boosts leg strength. The second eye heavily increases my raw physical stamina. And the third gives me this battle spear. Suddenly breaking the serious mood, he jokes. What about the fourth eye? Will it summon a dove or something? So peaceful. Chuen cuts him off. Enough joking around. The cursed mask will actually evolve in stages. He explains exactly how the mask he is using currently works. Stage 1 is equipment, involving body changes and weapon usage. Right now, you are just at the very threshold of the equipment phase. Stage 2 is possession. The cursed mask will literally swallow you whole, and both of you will completely fuse together. People who reach this stage can be counted on one hand. He listens closely. Stage 3 is called collapse, but that is way too far off. Let us ignore it. Hearing this, Haku sweats nervously. I understand. Chuen changes the subject. All right, let us go deeper. Haku ponders growing stronger. Honestly, I am not excited at all. But getting stronger and actually being needed by someone like this, it makes me incredibly happy. He stares at Miriam. Then suddenly, Jiangxi and Chuen realize something is wrong. Stick with me, this gets wild. They dash off. Haku is confused. Another explosion. The Chu siblings are blocking a strange man. They push him far away. What? He asks. Jiangxi issues an order. Leave the kids to me. He nods. Understood. She demands more. Also, hand me another cigarette. He is shocked. Huh? Thought you quit? She rushes him. Hurry up. They warn each other. Do not die. Chuen grabs Haku over his shoulder. Let us go. He panics. Hey, wait. He quickly carries Miriam and Haku away, leaving everything to Jiangxi. The figure looms in the smoke. Jiangxi steps up. Your face looks interesting. The guy is Xanahaz. I really like strong, fierce women like you. Choking them feels way more satisfying. Jiangxi calmly smokes her cigarette. She replies coldly. Showing off does not suit me. Listen, I am S rank. The others flee. Haku asks in confusion. Chuen? All right, you and I are diving into pure madness. That guy? He's the threat I warned about. The Holy Saint Society is hunting little Miriam. One of their elites is Xana. Haku volunteers to fight, with Chuen playing support. But Jiang flat out refuses the plan. This isn't up for debate. You can feel that heavy, terrifying pressure too, right? Chuen quickly breaks down the brutal reality for him. That psycho mastered his cursed mask ages ago. You'd be dead in a split second trying to fight him. But Chuen reassures him, don't worry. His sister is seriously overpowered too. Your only mission is protecting the girl currently riding on your back. Naturally, both Haku and Miriam get completely flustered by the comment. Haku stays quiet, listening to Chuen. To keep her safe, he needs to completely destroy her cursed mask. Filled with fierce determination, Haku agrees. Miriam, still on his back, stays lost in thought. Suddenly, Jiang shouts, there's the swallow gate. Get it open. Chu-en immediately follows his younger sister's orders, rushing the heavy doors. He launches a massive kick, forcing the huge gate wide open. Chu-en smirks at the flashy entrance, while Haku is just completely amazed. Right in front of them lies a gorgeous, glowing flower bed, surrounding a massive ancient tree. Haku carefully takes in the insane scenery, an entire hidden ecosystem buried underground. He suddenly spots a strange puppet resting deep inside the massive tree roots. Wait, is that Miriam's legendary cursed mask? Miriam leans in. Is that the mask? Jiang brutally cuts her off. Nope. She explains that the Black Crow is a top-secret weapon. There's absolutely no way it'd be sitting out in the open like this. Actually, that mask belongs to Jiang. Well, technically just a small fragment of it. Haku is totally confused by this reveal. Jiang aggressively yells at Chu-en to hurry up and carve it. Chu-en sighs helplessly, wishing she'd just explain the whole lore up front. So Chu-en drops the lore bomb himself. The truth is, Jiang's mask actually transforms. She dramatically drops her cloak, revealing her beautiful bare back. Haku completely panics. What is she doing? Chu-en calmly explains that since their older sister isn't around, he won't bother hiding their dark secret anymore. This is a crucial ritual they'd have to witness eventually anyway, so he tells them to watch closely. Jiang's mask is called Atlas. It literally acts as a radar to pinpoint the locations of the other cursed masks. She firmly puts it on. Thanks for everything up to now. I'll inherit it. Suddenly, glowing text begins burning itself right into her bare skin. Haku stares, absolutely bewildered by the magic. Chu-en answers the unasked question. Those glowing lines are actually exact coordinates pointing toward hidden ancient ruins. She's permanently carving them into her body. Since the world's continents constantly shift, the locations dynamically change too. Over millions of years, these ancient ruins drift across the map. The Atlas mask constantly recalculates those exact coordinates in real time based on that movement. This cursed mask reveals the current hiding spots of these ruins, especially the most dangerously protected ones hidden from the world. You can see the agonizing pain as each coordinate burns. Now, here's where you and I need to pay attention. If they collect all those fragments, they'll finally locate the ruins where the Black Crow is sealed. Haku and Miriam are totally overwhelmed by the complexity. If Miriam's Black Crow mask has been hidden since ancient times, just how ridiculously overpowered is it? Chu-en drops a heavy truth: if Jiang dies, their only living map vanishes forever. She trembles slightly, desperately enduring the brutal, burning pain. This girl is literally betting her own life just to uncover the world's erased history. Chu-en solemnly looks up toward the dark abyss. He and his sisters are risking absolutely everything just to keep her breathing. Their ultimate goal? Unraveling the hidden ancient history together as a family. And the heavy burden of recording this truth falls completely on the Chu family line. Haku falls into deep thought, realizing this guy is just like him. Haku boldly asks if Chu-en's true power is protecting his family. Chu-en just gives a warm, hearty laugh in response to the honest question. He squints his eyes. He's had his cursed mask since childhood, and their trio has been ruthlessly hunted down ever since that day. That constant survival made Jiang incredibly strong. But his older sister? She's an absolute monster on the battlefield, way beyond anything normal. Her physical strength and absolute mastery over her mask are completely unmatched. Chu-en decides to offer everyone a very serious warning. Never, ever piss her off if you still want to see the sunlight. He literally gets chilling flashbacks of his sister brutally stepping on his face. Mumbling a quiet apology to his terrifying memories, he confidently states his sister will easily crush Xana. But other hidden enemies are definitely tracking them right now. They must evacuate the second this coordinate ritual finishes. Haku firmly agrees, pulling out his mask to prepare to destroy Miriam's Black Crow curse. He desperately needs their help to get stronger, so he prepares to equip his mask. But suddenly, something chilling on the ground catches his eye. He glances at the dirt. A snake? So things actually live down in these ruins? Then a sharp, tingling sense of pure dread violently hits him. Suddenly, the snake spits out a severed human hand. Chu-en freezes in pure shock. Then, a creepy voice echoes out. She truly was a wonderful woman. They spin around in pure horror. Xana is casually sitting right on top of Jiang's lifeless corpse. What an absolute psycho. Killing her was such a waste, so I'll just take her home to play with. Haku starts suffocating under an insane pressure, feeling like he's facing thousands of vipers. It feels exactly like his most traumatizing past battles. His entire body locks up in absolute terror, completely paralyzed by the fear. Damn it. Move, just move. Suddenly, a furious Chu-en dropkicks the bastard right in the face, sending him flying across the room. Then, Chu-En equips his mask. He activates his ultimate power, Heavenly Fire Dance. Blazing sparks trigger a massive, earth-shattering explosion as Chu-En angrily unleashes a brutal barrage of flaming punches straight at Xana. Haku watches the explosive clash in pure shock. Stick with me, guys, he's desperately trying to unfreeze his body, while Chu-En brawls with the undead psycho. Alright, you and I are diving into pure madness. Chu-En catches his sister's battered body. What happened? Did he play rough? Jiangxi weakly whispers, that freak is genuinely pathetic. She grabs her younger brother's collar, pulling him close. Listen to me, she warns. His mask is a venomous molting snake. His muscles are literal steel. This guy is seriously tough to chew. Chu-En just laughs out loud. A snake? Perfect for boosting strength and nutrition? He calls out to his partner. Hey Haku, are you so scared you wet your pants? Haku quickly denies it. No way! He spins his spear around, stepping right next to Chu-En. I am ready. Xanaha stands in the hazy smoke, looking completely amused. Flicking his long snake tongue, the freak stares at our guys and throws out a gross joke. I have absolutely no interest in men. Even if you try provoking me, I only came here to take back what is mine. Seeing young Mirian absolutely terrified, Xanahas actually gets even more excited. Do not worry, little girl. He completely brushes off our guys, focusing on her. It looks like the GMC wants to use you as some kind of living weapon, but honestly, that is completely secondary to me. Right then, Xanahas's eyes glow brightly as he casually throws out another creepy provocation. I will do something to make you feel real good. Seeing this, Mirian is paralyzed with fear, feeling a violent chill run all the way down her spine. Haku grips his weapon tight and charges forward, blocking her from view. Being interrupted, the snake freak gets annoyed. He mocks him. Who are you trying to show off for, little brat? I have zero interest in you. But suddenly, Xanahas sees Haku's mask and completely freezes in shock. The black crow mask has now opened 3 glowing eyes. Seeing this, he lets out a crazy shout. Xanahas's entire body erupts in a terrifying aura of bloodlust. His voice drips with pure rage. Hey kid, why the hell are you wearing that mask? Exploding with overwhelming pressure, he yells in absolute fury. That mask belongs to the bastard I hate more than anything. How is it still alive? Hearing this wild rant, Haku stands there completely confused. The mask of his sworn enemy. Xanahas lets his raw power explode outward, coming to a dark conclusion. Oh, now I finally understand. I will destroy it right here, right now. Why do you not just die already? Thrilled by his own madness, he declares, but before I kill you, I am going to make you taste hell on earth. Hearing this, Haku and Chu-En instantly get into defensive stances. Xanahas eagerly summons 2 massive, horrifying venomous snakes. He promises the pain will feel amazing. The moment those words drop, our 2 heroes grip their weapons and charge. The twin snakes open their giant jaws, spewing out clouds of toxic gas. Haku panics, quickly warning him. That is poison gas. Hold your breath. But Chu-En ignores it entirely. Swinging his blazing longsword to counter, he shouts, This basic stuff has no effect on me. His raging flames and the toxic smoke smash directly into each other. Boom! A massive explosion shakes the room. Taking advantage of the blast, one snake closes in on Chu-En. He hastily uses his blazing sword to block the giant beast, but he accidentally lets the other snake slip right past him. Chu-En panics, yelling out, This is bad. That second snake is slithering straight toward poor Mirian. Haku whips his head around, terrified. Mirian is in danger. He instantly steps up, yelling, I will take care of that snake. But Xanahas is not letting him go anywhere. He lunges forward aggressively. I am still standing right in front of you. I will deal with you myself. His snakes mercilessly slam right into Haku. Caught off guard, the brutal impact hits him hard, making him cough up a mouthful of blood. Then, Xanahas commands another snake to pierce straight through Haku's body. Unable to hold back the intense agony, he spits out more blood. After landing the blow, Xanahas looks seriously disappointed. Turns out you are just a weak little brat. Meanwhile, Chu-En grits his teeth, defending fiercely. With one decisive strike, he completely slices the massive snake right in half. Let me straighten you out. After that, Chu-En gathers his momentum and leaps straight toward Mirian. Moving with incredible, lightning-fast speed, he launches himself right above the remaining snake's head. Bringing down his fiery longsword, Chu-En plunges it deep into the second monster. Mission accomplished. Now, you and I are about to see something genuinely horrifying. Chu-En turns around, realizing Haku is slowly being swallowed whole by Xanahas's giant snake. You are not even a fraction of his worth, so stop trying to provoke me. Chuen frantically rushes over, ripping Haku out of the venomous snake's deadly jaws. Exhausted, he sighs heavily. That thing almost swallowed you completely. Are you okay, kid? Haku calmly replies, I am so sorry. Thank you for saving my life back there. Haku stays completely calm, analyzing the situation. Just attacking him directly is not going to be enough. He spits deadly poison and has way too many unpredictable attack angles. How am I supposed to protect her in this chaos? Xanahas parades his slithering snakes, mocking them loudly. Hey, my blood is completely pumping right now. Stop wildly swinging that stick and use your actual skills. He taunts him even more aggressively. I bet you do not even know the true name of that mask, do you? Haku looks genuinely surprised. A name? Chu-En feels a bit helpless. Yeah, probably. He remembers the very first time he ever activated his own mask. The power eruption was absolutely massive. A mask actually has a true name, and you can call upon it while you are wearing the gear. The name of my mask is Acne. Next, Chu-En thinks back to the raw power of Jiangxi's gear. The mask my sister uses is called Lumire. Then his eyes become dead serious. Look, I have no idea who named yours, but honestly, it feels like it is just some kind of twisted prank name. If you can actually use the mask's true name, your compatibility will skyrocket. Right at that moment, Xanahas charges forward, brutally interrupting their little strategy chat. But hey, your little parlor tricks just now actually did some damage. Chu-En speaks cautiously. Stop talking, and focus on what is right in front of us. Then, seeing the freak advancing with his swarm of snakes, he gives an order. We have to fight this guy and an entire army of snakes all at once. So even if we miss just one single snake, the little girl gets swallowed instantly. Chu-En sternly warns him while furiously battling the venomous swarm. I refuse to let my sister's coordinate carving process get interrupted. Not until the whole thing is completely finished. I will slaughter as many snakes as possible. He adds one final command. Haku, you handle Xanahas over here. Let's see if you and I are about to witness a miracle. Haku charges right in. Xanahas channels all his raw power into a single fist, totally hyped up. He tells Haku he finally gets it. Let me do something that actually gets my blood pumping, he taunts. He throws a massive punch, but Haku blocks it with his staff. Still, the sheer force crushes down on him. Haku grits his teeth, just barely holding on. But Xanahas explodes with energy, blasting our boy completely backward. And then, he unleashes a massive snake that violently wraps right around Haku, trapping him tight. Let me pump poison into you with every single strike. Oh man, what an absolute waste of potential, right? And with that, Xanahas viciously slams down another brutal hit. Dirt and rocks scatter everywhere. Haku hits the ground hard, desperately using his staff to block the assault. But his enemy just violently targets completely different spots across his body. Haku feels the agonizing pain, forcing it down while thinking, one hit at a time? This power is insane. He clenches his jaw tightly. He knows if things keep going like this, he is going to break. He absolutely cannot protect Miriam if he stays totally on the defensive. Just as that thought hits him, Chu-En speaks up to warn him. No way, Haku. His eyes shoot wide open in pure disbelief. While holding off the enemy, he advises him, I told you already, do not just try to protect her. Look at the true nature of your mask right now. By now, Xanahas has his fist literally inches away from Haku's face, but our hero reacts with lightning speed, swinging his staff to counter it. Instantly, Haku shifts into full battle mode. He finally understands it inside. Right, stop just playing defense. He agilely maneuvers his staff to counterattack the guy, realizing he needs to go purely on the absolute offensive. Next, Haku pulls his weapon back, builds momentum, and dashes forward to close the gap on Xanahas. His adaptability speed is completely insane. Combining his massive physical enhancement and this weapon, he unleashes a relentless flurry of razor-sharp strikes. Deep down, he keeps focusing entirely on his mask's true power. With that thought, Haku executes a beautifully flawless mid-air flip. It is only at this exact moment that the villain finally starts to panic. Without any hesitation, he grips his weapon and charges in. One devastating strike lands, instantly tearing a massive chunk right out of Xanahas's body. After landing that ultimate move, he touches down softly and breathes a sigh of relief. Total offensive dominance. And you and I have reached the end of today's video. That was the full summary of this incredible story. If you guys have any thoughts or crazy theories, definitely drop them down in the comments section below. Do not forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more epic videos. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.